live. Someone let me know if it's not live, but I'm starting the show.
Start this motherfucker.
My cookies. I'm so impressed.
Oh, those will go down. Don't worry.
7 days a geek, seven days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, seven days a geek, oh. Greetings and salutations, get ready to binge watch with 3 geeks. Couldn't stop cold from eating, now he's the workout keto neighbor. Jason the Angry Ginger from Monkey Boo Studios. Limp and Quad Father gives us therapy from his couch. We're talking Netflix and Hulu, everything in the streaming world. Join our weekly watch party. First let's catch up with the geeks. What are you geeking out about? 7 days a geek, seven days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, seven days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 7 Days a Geek, Podtoberfest. Call it whatever the hell you want. We're here. We're live. I am inside Monkey Poo Studios.
No.
Angry Ginger here.
No.
Call it whatever you want.
No.
Call it whatever
it's
you want.
Podtoberfest.
That's
Literally.
right.
Do we not own
you know what?
the copyright?
If you put money down, you can call me whatever you want. Cole, you're on second mic.
Yeah, that's me.
I've
How's it
got
going?
$6 in my pocket.
Call me Linda.
We got to my right over here. We got Stumpfish, who flew all the way in from Lansing on his.
Wow. On his moped.
I think he drove to. I can't fucking get it out of my mouth. I started to say crotch rocket. I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You can't get stuntfish? Wait, what?
Yeah, he's large and in charge.
Well, I was like trying to figure out
I
what
got
you
a
were
thing
saying.
for guys with hard parts.
Is
So
that like a
Ooh, you guys are
stunt
looking
dick?
good.
Stunt fish?
Hey,
whoa. What's going on here?
The name?
Yeah. What is that?
It's a long story. I'll
Make it short. Says Grant. Says Grant.
Yeah. I was like, coming from Grant, that's going to be about a 10-minute conversation.
I still don't see a live stream on the channel.
It's the one that he posted works.
I just put it up. Do we have an echo? There's Quad. He changed his shirt again. I feel like Quad is like it. But let's see who can change their clothes the most between Grant and the Quad Father.
Well, he's on
like
vacation
it.
and probably has a multitude of...
I don't know. You brought a suitcase over.
I did.
Yeah. Grant? Grant, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate you inviting me.
Tell us about this outfit of yours.
So this outfit was a gift. My son and daughter watch a YouTube channel out of Canada called Dope or Nope, and it's run by kind of this independent media mogul guy who he has this channel where they basically buy a bunch of stuff off of Amazon.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the top 10 whatever, and then they review them and they play with them and they see if they work, or they just have a topic that they pick. And then he also has channels where, he runs streaming channels for video games and whatever. So the two guys, they got one of these, I guess, and during one of those episodes, one of them wore it, and they were like, "Oh, Dad would love that." And so they bought. It's a little rough, it's not soft, that's for sure. But they actually bought me another one that was basically it made you look like you were completely naked and hairy. And I wore it once and I was like, yeah, like I would never. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to wear this. I love it. Thank you for thinking of me, but I just can't imagine. What am I going to do? Meander?
So you have it, but you didn't bring it?
No, they sent it back because I was like, I'll never wear it beyond just trying it on because it was a gift.
You put your foot down on the naked hairy man, but you were like, yeah, I'll wear this out.
Before we get too further into
I've literally
this episode,
not worn it.
We've got sponsors to talk about, and we also got a hashtag game. If we're going to give away a couple of gift cards this hour,
appreciate
correct?
you. Yes.
Okay.
I want the hashtag game, but also they have to. We're going to explain the rules in a minute, and the chat room gets it right. Whether Grant does or not, they get to they get a gift card to either Amazon or.
Sponsor for this hour is the Factbook Podcast, which is From a Certain Point of Skew. That's a podcast about all things Star Wars.
Get yourself a woman that looks at you like Grant looks at me.
Back of your head. He was staring at the back of your head right there. And the hashtag game for this hour is going to be comic book characters.
That's because he's a power bottom.
Small business ideas.
I like how you laugh at that. You know it's not true.
Comic book characters.
My right here live on air. Sorry, go ahead.
Are we going to do the hashtag game?
Let's be serious about this.
Yeah, you got two gift cards that are just staring you in the face right now. The pressure's on.
I'm itching to give them away, too.
All right, well, itch that, scratch that itch.
All right.
Comic book character, small business idea. So, example, Wolverine's Butcher Shop, Peter Parker's web page designs, Bruce Banner's demolition services.
All right.
That's your hashtag game for the hour.
Play it.
Proceed.
Okay, so the idea for this hour, Grant, we left you in the dark for this. We're calling it Monkey Poo Studios presents Mystery Science Aural Theater. All right, so this is for your ear, not oral. Starts with an A, Grant. There's no erotic cinema. There's no nothing. Okay, so the idea with this was one of us, we kind of loosely had a few ideas for a story, and then we wrote, and then the next one picked it up, and then someone finished it off. We're not going to tell you who wrote what. We want you to guess. We tried to change it up so you wouldn't be able to know. Where's the story? You got to be... No, I believed... you know what? We didn't put a break in there, did we? I never
did not.
Okay.
So I've read this through myself in my head. I didn't read it aloud. I tried reading out loud and my mouth got tired. So it's about 30-minute read.
My mouth
35,
got
36-minute read. So if we're going to try to
if Grant needs a break at any
schedule,
point, we're going to sub in one of our studio audiences.
if we're going to try to adhere to any sort of schedule,
What do
we're
you
going to...
mean if I need a break? Like, where's this going? Like, what are you setting me up for?
No, I just don't know if you want to read that long. Yeah, I'm standing up for you. Right.
Yeah, that right there, it just starts it, doesn't it? It's like, that's the slow roll into shocking me.
I feel like he's going to be, pleasantly surprised.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You don't want to read that on your phone or the computer?
It's okay.
Oh, I want to hear about
BDSM.
this.
Oh my God.
Grant, are you going to read this on your phone, or are you going to read it on...
Give me. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to send links to people who are asking me for the show link.
Oh, okay.
That is what I'm trying to
You know
do.
what? We'll allow it.
I'm
Also-
juggling a lot of things here. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like some balls?
Most of it's social media, so
And I can't knock you for that. I appreciate that. Everybody who
All right.
has social media, go ahead and send out to podtoberfest.com.
that would be great.
Listen to us live.
Where am I going here, Jay? Could you please?
We come out of this hour,
Yep.
and there's a separate doc that goes to hour 6. It's the story.
Okay.
Story.
And so,
There you go.
Jason.
They can't hear you? Hold on. Let me... Oh, okay.
I'm not going to argue.
Let me find out if they hear you now. We're just going to do a check here real quick. Check.
Check, check.
gonna
Hello,
take a
hello,
minute.
hello.
Anybody
hello.
listening?
Hello,
Let me know
hello.
when you hear.
You can hear me.
Well, yeah, I can hear you.
It is our duty.
Hello, hello. Can you hear all of me?
I'm not going to lie. By Podtoberfest 2025, we will have this nailed down.
All right. Hey, look.
Lockdown.
Hey, everything's
You got to
great.
have first year before you can have a second.
Everything's great.
Can you hear Quad now? Because I just turned his microphone up.
Don't do it.
Doing it and doing it.
They're saying nope. Hold
As
on.
of-
Hello, hello.
Have they not heard you at all?
There he is.
Hello,
Okay, so I got... Okay,
it's me.
we're good.
Hey, why you say goodbye, but I
Okay,
say
so
hello.
It's
Quad-
funny that everybody hears the word hello and goes to a completely different song.
Yep.
Humorous.
I was thinking Lionel Richie.
We're
You
good?
were thinking what?
The
What was that?
Beatles.
Beatles? Yeah.
Okay,
Beatles.
Quad, tell the
Beatles.
audience we're reading the story, and you have something from your life that takes place in this.
Yeah, I when I
Here we go.
noticed, I'll say, this story, the first I don't know, probably
Titans.
chapter roughly, that my neighbor did stuff just like
Really?
this, and got arrested and thrown in jail. So, and he was his wife cut my kid's hair. We were friends.
So the Netflix
I got a
documentary is
story I'll
coming
tell you
out
about it.
soon, but you're gonna give us the story
It's
before.
already been on Dr. Phil
Oh, wow.
and Who the Bleep Did I Marry? The
Never
whole
heard of it.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
When can I
Neither
be on
did
that show? All right, go ahead.
So, Courtney, because you'll be the least wordy, I wasn't paying attention. What's the point here? I'm going to read this, and I have to figure out who wrote it.
Correct.
Yep. Amen.
That's the fun part. If at the end, you
We
figure
think
out who
so.
wrote each section.
We could be way
Yeah, just-
wrong.
Do you guys all know who wrote what?
Yes.
Okay, so what I need is...
How would we not know who? Well, no.
No.
I do not know who wrote what aside from me. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Yes.
So I guess what I'm trying to get, and I don't know if
I'll
you-
highlight each section in different colors.
I
so
don't
you
know who can answer this without giving anything away, but what, like, for this first one, what's the voice? What's the, I mean, where...
Just
Okay.
read it.
Your motivation.
Yeah, I mean, like, I assume that's why you have me do it.
Yes. Exactly. And I think you'll find
should
it quickly.
Should I start out with, like, Carl Devin was about to kill again.
Yes.
He could almost feel the marrow percolate in his bones like some distorted, cancerous premonition. It wouldn't be long until this feeling would come to fruition. It's a sensation he's never been able to bring into words. He likened it. I can't do it.
I was going to say, we're going to need 4 hours if you're going to read that
17 pages of this.
Whoa. I'm not reading 17 pages
That's
during
why we said
Podtoberfest.
just
Jesus
read.
Christ.
The less you complain, the faster you'll get through it. Look, now he's got to double check.
How many times have you said that, Jason?
There really is 17 pages.
Yeah, but
Somebody,
What are you idiots
Yes,
doing with
somebody
your
may
time?
have written 3/4 of it.
There's pictures.
Can I just
They're
say,
double spaced.
I just want to say, 17 pages, you could have wrote 2 pages and spent the rest of the time figuring that out.
I'm just saying somebody wrote
This was
3/4
weeks
of
ago.
the
We wrote this weeks ago. This is one of our first ideas. Let's go, Cole! All right. Let's get into this, Grant.
All right.
This is going to be a long hour, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Grab some popcorn.
Good thing we started 15 minutes late.
Right.
Go ahead.
Carl Devin was about to kill again. He could almost feel the marrow percolate in his bones like some distorted, cancerous premonition. It wouldn't be long until this feeling would come to fruition. It's a sensation he's never been able to bring into words. He likened it to others' audible attempt at describing the actual feeling of love. Though, if he had to attribute this deep-seated stimulation into one feeling, it could closely resemble arousal. Except it wasn't something he actually got off on, but it was something that excited him nonetheless. Every fiber of his being came alive in these murderous times. So by now, at the age of 34, he understood what his subconscious was hungry for. And once the act of killing was over with, much like the act of sex, he usually felt complete again, peaceful, relaxed, and rejuvenated. I'm looking at you guys. I can see you set me up.
No, we're laughing at he's just fucking like just eating.
I'm
I'm
trying not to.
I did.
Unlike his almost addictive panache for sex, though, killing wasn't something he had done regularly. Just a few times and never on the same day or even in the same year, but the most recent kill hadn't brought him the same release like the past ones. He didn't feel satiated. He felt annoyed, almost antagonized. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, which perturbed him because other than the struggling to put it into words, the almost orgasmic compulsion to kill, he was absolutely in control of every single thought, feeling, and action in his life. He had always been a killer ever since he was in 6th grade, when he picked up a large piece of driftwood on the prep school playground and bashed that no-good Eddie Thomason in the back of the head so hard it caused him to go permanently blind in his left eye. What am I reading? Who wrote this? I'm going to say right from fair enough. Who wrote this? Can I stop now and say who wrote it and we move to the next one?
Venture your guess.
My guess, based on the words, I'm going to have to say Jay. I mean, it's not necessarily his voice, but I almost feel like it's a red herring.
Red herring.
Wow. All right, I'll continue. The spark of a memory caused the corner of his pursed mouth to curl upwards, and that recollection brought on a moment of happiness. Awakening from his daydream, Carl looked in the rear-view mirror and caught a glimpse of himself and noticed that he was smiling. His green eyes were cold and glazed over. He was tired from driving all day. He adjusted the worn-out brim on his red Under Armour hat and rubbed his eyes. It was now pitch black outside. He thought for a moment. He didn't even remember how long it had been since the sun went down. He was out of it. Focus, he thought. The last thing I need is to get pulled over in another state in this condition. Virginia. He hated coming here. Of all the places he could have chosen, he settled on this place. Ellie's from here. It'll be good for her to come home. It's the least I can do for her, he rationalized, as he adjusted the rearview mirror to get a peek at his sleeping bride in the back seat. Jolts of electrical pain shot from every knuckle in his right hand and halfway, next page, up from his arm. From just the slightest bit of pressure he used to refocus the mirror. Pulling his hand away, he nursed it, resting it back down on his lap. It was a full minute before the pain had died down enough to remember that he was checking on Ellie, who was currently sprawled out and indisposed in the back seat. He never actually laid back there, but Taking in her beauty for a moment, he imagined that the aftermarket custom leather seats he had installed hours after pulling the fully loaded H2 out of the dealership H2 out of the parking lot were probably pretty damn comfortable. Okay, man, I'm trying to remember how you wrote last year, Cole, and you were really, pushing the whole erotica alien porn stuff, but some of the wording here is pretty consistent. Is this actually going somewhere? I feel like so on spot right now.
You're on point, bud. So is that mustache.
My wife and kids are probably listening, and they're like, oh my God, Dad must be skin on fire and panic and anxiety while he's trying to fake it in front of everybody.
What are you faking? That you're enjoying this?
That moment brought to you from On Hiatus, starring Grant Markham and Jason Parsons. All right. Here we go.
Drink.
That's funny. Every time I mention On Hiatus?
Anytime you do, anytime Quad mentions he was paralyzed.
He liked his toys more than that. He liked the others liked his toys. Cars, boats, vacation houses, hell, even vacation houses. He had them all.
Now he's reading like Dr. Seuss.
Well, I got to get through this. I'm on page... I'm on... Okay.
Keep reading.
Shut up. Those that couldn't hide their envy for the things he had, though... People are texting me. Get out of here. Those that couldn't... Turn the phone over. God damn it. It's distracting. Those that couldn't hide their envy for the things he had, though, those especially he liked to keep around. Occasionally, he'd take them out on fishing on his sailboat, a Catalina 315, obnoxiously named the Wine Mixer. Mostly, though, he enjoyed talking about the wine mixer to people that had taken out his sailboat only once. There was a specific level of resentment and an almost putrid sense of envy that perspired, spelled incorrectly, from those he deemed less fortunate. Nope, now I jump pages because of that. Who did that?
I like
Who's in this? Who's in this that just moved it?
Cole's name was on it. He was going to correct the spelling.
It was bothering me.
So I'm going to go with Cole.
Thank you. Shout out to neighbor Cole.
No, you wrote this?
Me?
We can't tell you till the end.
Oh, okay. Pardon me, studio audience. You're sincere that you want me to read all 17 pages in 30 minutes or less.
Well, now you have 35 because you keep talking.
Okay. Where is this going? That's superiority. Like, I'm reading a book like I would at home with people in the fucking room. It's weird that you're making me do this. It's even weirder that I'm doing it.
You forgot to mention what you're wearing.
You're not doing it yet.
The audience wants to hear more.
They're riveted.
That superiority was something Carl felt he hid well. Carl! One of the many... Carl! One of the many deep, dark secrets he kept. He was good at compartmentalizing and attributed this ability to what made him such a notable surgeon. He's fast, quick on his toes, and well respected, not just on the floors of the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania, but in the medical community he consulted for across the eastern seaboard. It's where he met Ellie when she was in her first year of residency. It's where she met Ellie when she was in her first year of residency. That comma, not where it's supposed to be. Now, here they are 2 years into a relationship. Sure, he's a bit older than she was and maybe a bit more refined. Where he sipped Pappy Van Winkles and puffed on Opus X, Ellie was more of a downing Trulies and gnawing on red vines kind of girl.
Shout out neighbor Cole.
Ellie was a larger-than-life, quasi-bubbly brunette that just took his breath away the first time he saw her. Her big brown doe eyes could pass for a Snapchat filter. But they're real. And damn, she was smart. He loved that she wasn't arrogant about her intelligence at all. She got a 519 on her MCATs, and she liked to playfully remind him of whenever they get into a tiff. He was known on this surgical floor as MC515, so she knew her 4 points bothered him. She took far too much delight in how the actual medical world assimilated the MC from Grey's Anatomy. Even though he hated it, she gleefully reminded him of the nickname whenever he got too confident. He could come off of a bit too academic in his presentation, but her intelligence was mostly shown through her wit, and he found that to be good for him. He didn't feel so stuffy with her around. The problem here, Jay, is I cannot can't get it to go. See?
You have a problem with scrolling?
No.
You have a problem with scrolling?
You have a problem with using your microphone? Cole, you want to just keep tabs on where the hell I'm at because
That's what caught
Yep.
his attention.
that's what caught his attention. That, and she wasn't afraid of his position at the hospital. She came to learn and to be the best, and had things gone differently, she might have been. Until today, he rubbed his hand and winced. Oh. All the pregnant pauses I give when I'm actually fucking talking. Until today, he rubbed his hand and winced. It needed the pregnant pause.
This document is pregnant.
Carl had experienced a rough couple of days. After months of prepping his prey, a term he coined for his rather tenacious urge for dominance and off-colored hobby would most simply describe as murder, he finally made his selection. He had always been so meticulous, particularly in the way he studied women, his prey, his soon-to-be victims. He could easily identify if they were compensating for an old high school sports trauma by how they transferred weight off the heel and applied more pressure to the front of the foot. A bad leg, or foot even, was too good for him. It meant they were slow, lacking the explosive outburst needed in any fight or flight scenario. Fighting would be off the table even if they had to. A leg injury is a hunter's wet dream, at least this hunter's.
I'll be honest, I forgot we were live. I'm sitting here examining my beer. What are we drinking here? We've got 5 fucking video cameras on us.
He quickly avoided any woman that walked with her chest out, shoulders even, or was quick to brush her hair back and give a barely noticeable glance behind her as she rounded a corner and knew how to handle herself. These women, while still quite easy to be subdued, weren't worth the struggle. The less proof that his prey was ever at the scene of an abduction, the better chances of Carl not wasting any of his precious future looking over his own shoulder. Okay, page 4. No, it's still page 3. Sorry.
Just skip 3 pages.
Yeah,
feel
why?
like it.
Where am I going?
I don't know.
To the end.
There's no way I'm who the hell?
It's true.
Does the drunk girl in the audience want to read this?
Fucking Grant's got a fucking heckler.
Jesus Christ.
Let's talk about it some more, please.
Okay, let me click on
I
this
think
here.
we could probably skip a little bit of this, don't you think?
Chapter 32. Well, let me give at least the person whom he appears to be wanting to kill. No, Ellie's in the back seat, isn't she? Oh my God, I'm following the story in my head. Jesus Christ. All right. Rosalind Murphy was her name. She was a 24-year-old cocktail waitress with long red hair and freckles that started on her high on her cheekbones and seemed to migrate south with a fury. She was a full-time student at Penn State and was a few credits shy of a bachelor's degree in marketing with Carl, which Carl thought was every time. Okay, got it. Which Carl thought was worth killing her alone for that career choice. This was especially when he discovered that she was specializing in social media marketing. It was the lowest level in the marketing world, but social media became his way in. She was online every minute of the day. This sounds like You. Are we watching You? Is Penn Badgley going to make an appearance?
Plagiarism. Never fun.
She was online every minute of the day except for one. She didn't drive, so with earbuds in place, she obliviously walked from class to work her apartment that was 3 blocks from Benny's. Insert Denny's. The upscale sports bar scheduled her close Wednesday night because she took every Thursday off as a study day. Her phone wasn't on Thursdays until 8 p.m. when she live tweeted episodes of Grey's Anatomy. Carl couldn't escape that damn show.
I think we need a drink every time Carl is said.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
I got a drink.
Oh boy. Give her water.
Oh.
His plan was easy. He knew her path home from Benny's after watching her for months. Her walk home was always the same. She almost walked it on autopilot, except for this 150-yard section about a block from her home. The streetlight had been out near the alley where the dumpsters to a neighboring apartment complex were stored. She instinctively plucked her earbuds and rubbed her left wrist, stopping to look around before walking into the darkened area. This is where he'd surprise her on her Wednesday night after her shift. He'd catch her by surprise in the dark spot of the alley, and no one would even know she was gone until late Thursday night when, and if, someone noticed she was tweeting about her favorite Mick whomever. By digging into her Facebook photos, he'd learned that in her senior year, she had her wrist trampled on during a soccer game. Plenty of photos followed the event, chronicling the wrist going from limp and bruised to bruised and pinned to wrapped with signatures, and then once again, 2 hands free, just in time to open her Christmas presents. It would be a fast abduction. He already had the perfect spot for his car. He was good at planning these things. Stalk, grab, sedate, murder, then tenderly play with himself and dispose of the corpse before the body was even cold and stiff. Rarely did these things get messy. He would never had that urge to be anything less than surgical. It wasn't that those out-of-control times wouldn't creep up, but he only expressed those feelings behind closed doors. That was a different compartment. Violence out in the real world couldn't be controlled. It had too many variables, and he put his surgical career at risk. He couldn't put his hands in harm's way. Was he Doctor Strange? Jeez. The dashboard lit up the cabin in the almost complete darkness of the night, sounding an alert. I was daydreaming again, wasn't I? Carl thought.
Carl.
His vision adjusted to the lights on the dashboard. Shit. Where am I going to find gas at this time of night? The smart screen showed... There it was.
The smart. He just went full Sean Connery.
Oh, the day is mine.
The smart screen showed the time to be just after midnight. His tank had 80 miles on it until he ran out of gas, and the screen read only 61 miles to destination. He clicked on the dome light. Well, sweetheart, he glanced back over his shoulder. We're going to have to stop and get some gas before we reach our final destination. Well, yours anyway. I'm surprised no one wrote in the... That line was terrible. Whoever wrote it, I don't know which one of you it is. Boo. Jay, you wrote that line.
Why?
You wrote that line, Jay.
Did I?
You wrote that line.
Did I?
You wrote that line.
Okay.
Did you write that line, Courtney? I want a bell on that line. Yes!
We've definitely touched each other's documents, by the way.
At this point, I would imagine it was probably more than each other's documents, but that's for another. That's for another hour.
I can't wait for this to be over with.
Kissed Jay earlier.
For Grant's analysis of this is fucking.
Who gave him a
Yeah,
mic?
it's
Okay,
amazing.
let's go to chapter 3.
Is it broken into chapters? Just tell me.
Apparently it is.
All right.
Okay, so Carl is taking this girl. He's made a plan. He's got her. He's in the car. They've got to stop for gas. That's the whole workup. He's a surgeon.
No, you don't want to go to
Read,
chapter 3.
2 paragraphs above chapter 3.
Can I get a page, please?
You want page
chapter 11.
11. Page 11.
Paragraph
Did you
starts
yell
with,
line?
Elle shook her head.
Line, please.
Line.
I really. How many people are currently on YouTube watching this nonsense?
Maybe 8.
Okay, so that's
Want me to go online and watch?
no. No, I have you right
I think
here.
it's
2 of
16.
you is more than enough.
Oh, 8.
2 of me is more than enough. I think 1 of me is more than enough.
Right, so that's what I'm saying is you there and then you there. It's too many. All right.
So summarize.
So-
Go ahead. Summarize this up to this point. See, Elle shook her head and tried to clear the fog, so we can skip through the.
Everything I didn't just read
Okay.
between page 3 and 11.
I'm trying to think. Did I write this? I'll give you what
You certainly wrote that last crappy line.
so one crappy line, and you're going to give me shit. I hope you die.
I said
I hope all of you die.
one line.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It was just
Yeah.
one of those ones where the way you read
Let's
it,
start off with
it
a
sounds like
compliment,
this.
okay? And then we'll go to fucking...
So far, so good. So far, okay.
Thank you.
How's
Thank
this?
you. I didn't write this, but thank you.
Whoever wrote what I
you go.
read so far, save for that one line.
You
Yeah.
suck. I really like you.
It's
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what's happening is Ella's in the back seat. She is there's a plan where she has planned to murder him.
Oh.
Because he's abusive. So
Yeah, the counter.
he's got her knocked out in the back, but because of his medical field, she knew that there was an antidote, a reversal.
He drugs the girls.
agent.
She
So
found a reversal agent, put
Yeah.
it in his beer that was on the side of in his cup.
Right.
And now she's in the
drugged
back
him,
seat.
and this whole thing was a plan of hers
And
to
she
get
injected
away.
herself with the counter drug.
Yeah, because
Oh.
he's
In the
gonna
back
he's
seat.
gonna put another one in her to keep her knocked out.
The counter.
She's been faking
Yeah.
it the whole time.
Pick it up
Wow.
right there. Al shook her head.
Yeah.
All right. So now, just where did you crib this from? Because I'm sure that I've seen this.
We're not
Just-
answering.
Oh my
this.
God, Courtney! I'm just giving him a
Why
hard
is
time.
it hard for you to think
God,
that the
you're so
three of us
sensitive,
came
Courtney.
up with something
Shh.
original?
Shh.
I just want the
There
story
are
to
no
end before the
original
hour
stories.
is
Oh,
up.
you know
Well,
what?
don't give me 17 fucking pages to read.
Hey, well, you know what? We can extend this hour. The audience is riveted.
I am riveted.
Riveted.
We got to find out what happens to Al and Carl.
Yeah,
They're-
what happened?
They're more riveted by the tacos on my shirt.
No.
All right.
You got a taco in your pants?
He has a taco cat in his pants.
Well, that's the same thing.
Taquito. Who said that? Who the fuck said that?
It's thin and long.
Grant,
Let's talk about you.
You're doing a good job,
you're
Grant.
doing a good job.
Yeah, we appreciate this.
Ellie
Proceed.
shook her head and tried to clear the fog that could have been from the drugs that her husband injected into her or from the steering wheel she just slammed her head on. She looked up and tried to focus her eyes in front of the car, seeing her husband, captor, wrestling with the diseased bear in what looked like a choreographed dance of life and
Break.
death.
Break real quick. There, before all this happened, a bunch of ravished zombie-like creatures ran out of the woods right at the point of like conflict.
Okay, so we went from what sounded like kind of a serial killer murder
Yeah.
crime mystery to zombie bears.
Zombie bears. So he's fighting
Okay,
with the bear
okay.
in the front
I
in the
feel-
parking lot.
I feel like I should have skipped all those other pages. Now I want to go back and read it.
Go up to the paragraph.
I'm kidding.
before.
I'm kidding.
You can do that on your own time, Grant.
Moving on.
Go ahead.
Like, start over again.
He did say this is like a book you would read at home, so he'll read it later.
She looked up and tried to focus her eyes in front of the car. Oh, as she focused her eyes directly on the waltzing bear and her murderous husband, she fumbled, playing the keys, and in a quick second flipped on the lights of the car, gunned the engine, dropped the H2 into gear, and punched the gas. She accelerated so fast she could barely see the figures racing toward the car and quickly bouncing off to the side with a thud.
I like this.
Her heart was pounding in the dim consciousness of her head, which was not clear but slightly sharper as the adrenaline coursed through her confused nervous system, making the lingering effects of the injection and the bump on the head.
Masking.
As fast as she has accelerated, she slammed her foot onto the brake, stopping only inches before she collided with the dumpster at the edge of the Gas and Go parking lot. Checking the rear view mirror, she assessed
driver.
the carnage she had created in the quiet, isolated island of the gas station. The red brake lights illuminated the scene, and she blinked her eyes, trying to clear her somewhat blurred vision. Was that blood, or had the bear somehow rebound without injury? Without warning, the passenger door popped open and her husband leapt into the front seat of the car, shoving her out of the way. His eyes were wild with panic and aggression as he stared her down with his
I'm the
cold,
man, I'll drive.
determined and lifeless gaze. Almost unconsciously, he reached towards the center console and placed his precious big gulp into the cup holder next to the beer she had tainted with a sedative. He grabbed her by the throat and lifted her with what seemed like a superpower as he forced her back into the back seat.
That's right.
Guys, remember that line and let me know who wrote that one. She felt helpless to defend herself, and her pregnant belly bare fit between the two seats, or barely. She crashed into the back seat and hit her head on the Yeti beer cooler and passed out.
She's having a rough night.
It keeps things really cold.
And they're expensive. Ellie was slowly coming back to consciousness. The first thing she heard was the engine of the car roaring, and then she surmised that they were on a dirt road because she heard the traction of the wheels change and heard rocks and dirt flipping up, hitting the undercarriage of the car. Feeling the car pitch sideways on the uneven road, she peeked with one eye open and saw the silhouetted trees against the night sky, bright with a 3/4 waning night moon and stars, and she immediately knew that they were not heading back to her hometown of Pandora Falls. They were heading away from civilization into the wilderness. Her heart filled with a dread because she knew that this man... Okay, who wrote this? Her heart filled with the dread because she knew that this man, who she had known as her husband for years, could turn his compassion off like a switch. She wasn't sure if she had compassion and turned it off when he needed to, or if he was truly a soulless monster and he faked love and compassion, one more time please, when it suited his purposes. She feared the latter. She also feared that she was about to find out. Oh my God, will she find out?
No!
Carl!
That's coming up. It's coming up.
Why do I feel... You keep saying that shit. I can see Cole. He is holding it in. What am I running into here? Look at you. You are glowing. You are glowing. You're like, Grant is about ready to walk in my fucking bear trap.
Wax that stash and proceed.
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 Just gonna move this up here. This has nothing in it.
I got something special.
I got a little.
The powerful H2 came to a stop. Ellie had kept an eye on the roadie she had drugged when Carl was getting gas, and... I'll wait. You go ahead. No. You just get the ice in there. You're good. You know. Yep. Hey, no,
Hey, we're doing a live show. It's okay.
no, it's perfectly fine. We're good. It's not distracting when, you know...
Not at all.
This will be literally a 2-hour on hiatus episode in which you are going to be buried. I'm going to put that out there.
Come on,
Drink.
Walter Cronkite, let's go.
I don't feel like that's true.
And that's the way it is. I'm Grant Markham. Good night.
When you say Carl.
The powerful H2 came to a stop. Ellie had kept an eye on the roadie she had drugged him when Carl was getting gas, and he had not had a sip of the drink yet. He was too focused on his big gulp and clearly not interested in taking the edge off with brew. If he didn't drink that super beer she had prepared, she knew she didn't stand a chance of winning in a physical altercation. Carl got out of the car, but Ellie was too afraid to move, concerned that she might be discovered as being conscious. She allowed the father of her child to lift her up from the back seat and carry her away from the car. Where they had stopped, and where had they stopped, and where was he taking her? Sorry, do I need to wait?
Nope, you're good.
You sure?
Yep, 100%.
I don't know what I'm going to read into, so I want to make sure I'm not...
You're fine.
Miners have entered the studio, just making sure that nothing they've set a trap for me.
You're fine.
Okay. She allowed the father of her child to lift her up from the back seat and carry her away from the car. More people. Where had they stopped, and where was he taking her? The cold air, the smell of the forest, and the muted sounds of footsteps on the unpaved ground informed her that they were far, far, far away from other people and far away from anyone who might hear her scream for help. They were, in fact, far away. She had never felt more alone or far away. Chapter 3.
Only 14 more to go.
The cry of a newborn baby
And then there's a prologue.
is as Boy, I gotta read. Hang on. The cry of a newborn baby is an unmistakable sound. Carl and Ellie's newborn son was no different. Tender, yet strong. Loud, but not disturbing. Almost cute as far as baby sires go. Jay didn't write that.
What an asshole. Baby cries go. He goes sires because it was spelled wrong.
Look! It's a word. I read it as written.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me try that again.
Could you be a little more exasperated, Grant?
Yeah.
He was wearing cats.
Carl
Coral.
and Ellie's
Carl.
newborn son was no different, tender yet strong, loud but not disturbing, almost cute as far as baby cries go, thought Carl.
Right.
He had been well prepared for this moment. The cabin was stocked with every possible item that a newborn baby could want or need, especially when that baby is without his mother.
Oh, where's the mom at?
As Carl
Carl.
sat in the rocking chair soothing their infant son, he almost let his thoughts go back to the reason that he alone had to care for the child, the struggle, the accident, and the impromptu yet somewhat planned cesarean section he had performed alone in the rustic cabin in the forest. Wow, so we've had a time jump.
I feel like there's a gap. Yeah.
We've had a time jump. She was in the car. She was ready to, like, get the drop on him.
Right.
He wasn't drinking the sedated drink.
Yep.
It would appear
Right?
so.
And then all of a sudden, chapter 3,
There's been a baby.
there's a baby.
Yeah.
He's, like, doing the deed. You know, he's, like, taking care of business.
Talking about, sir?
Giving birth.
Well, she
Performing
gave
the birth.
Cesareans.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I'm...
Following?
Well, I literally, I'm almost tuned out to what the hell I'm reading because, like, stage fright, it does that. Like, you're just on autopilot, and then you forget everything, and then later on, people are like, yeah, you said this, and you did that, and you're like, oh, I fucking blacked out. And
Would
that's
you like a pretzel?
it's definitely what's happening.
As Carl sat.
So so Carl he completed his cesarean section some time jump ahead from, getting ready to murder his
It was not
apparent wife.
time to think about such things.
You're correct. It wasn't.
I got it.
It was not time to think about such things. He had a plan, a mission, and he only had 18 hours. That sounded like Captain Kirk, didn't it? It's like,
Yeah, really good.
it was time to think about such things. He had a plan, a mission, and he only had 18 hours and 24 minutes to complete it.
everything.
Or everything he had planned over the past 27 months would have been for nothing. From planning the perfect month for the birth, convincing his wife that he had fallen in love with bird watching and needed to capture photos in the wild as his excuse to visit the caption, explaining his collection of medical supplies in the garage for his wilderness first aid kit. So many lies, so many close calls, and still here he was, right on track and almost on time. He had a lot to do if he was going to meet the deadline tonight at precisely 10:26 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Or was it 10:25? He always forgot which time. Well, 1 minute won't matter, he thought to himself. The important thing is that he was in the right spot with a brand new baby, and judging by the feral diseased animals he had seen and fought with at the gas station, the process was in motion and utopia for himself. His baby, and all living creatures, was only hours away, and Carl himself would be at the center of this brave new world. So did we just hit Cabin in the Woods? Where are we going?
Let's find out. Chapter 4.
2 minutes left in this hour.
We got it.
No, but we started 15 minutes late.
Fair enough.
Did you say 2 minutes left in this hour?
So there's that.
2 minutes Turkish.
Somebody should get her a beer. All right, chapter 4.
Why not?
The seconds ticked off in his head, turning to minutes as he sat there rocking his newborn child cradled in his arms. The interior of the cabin was well stocked and dimly lit, other than the central dais of the room, illuminated with a brightness that penetrated the gloom, sat the operating table. It wasn't a high-quality affair, but a rather surgical sheet draped over a long, flat picnic table. The cesarean kit was laid out. Whoa! Now I'm confused. Did we move chapters, or are now we going back in time?
Carry on and you'll see.
Go back in time.
Back in
I
time.
didn't... Look, I apologize for asking these questions. If you have intentionally structured it this way out of sheer brilliance, I applaud you. Am I
Brilliance.
asking the correct question then, right? If
I
I
was
was...
asking you, like he thinks that you wrote
Yes,
this.
you would be confused if you were reading it correctly.
Okay, thank you.
I wrote this.
So I am reading it correctly, and I should be confused. Thank you.
11 pages.
So just carry on to the next
fair.
the next sentence. You'll have it.
All right. I'm going to go back a sentence. Ladies and gentlemen, the story continues.
You make me happy.
It wasn't a high-quality affair, but rather a surgical sheet draped over a long, flat picnic table. The cesarean kit was laid out. Several of the implements and tools still showed signs of use. Blood splattered the area and was pooling on the sheet. He glanced over at the mother of his child and shook his head in dismay. You have created quite a mess, my love.
Yeah.
This Carl is dark.
Carl
Carl.
barked out loud to no one in particular. The young boy, cradled in his arms, cooed softly at the sound of his father's voice, which it found rather pleasant and comforting. Relatively comforting compared to the harsh and violent screaming from his mother earlier in the evening when he had been brought into this world. The fact that birthing a child in this manner, in such difficult and tumultuous conditions, would have a lasting effect on this child's psyche was lost on the sociopath that was cradling him currently in his arms. Carl was a man of science, compassionless, a man who could make the tough choices and never have a second guess, and never second guess his motives. He had a hard time relating to others. Nope, I lost it. Sorry.
There was a sense of irony.
Yeah. Every time I grab the scroll, it moves. Yeah.
Figure.
Carl's a man of science, apparently. He's got some tough choices to make. He doesn't second guess the shit, whatever. He had a hard time getting along with other people because he was a fucking nut job. Okay. There was a sense of irony that he may have inadvertently created a monster akin to himself in no other way than by forcing it through trauma in his first moments of life, but that fact was lost on him. The future sociopath cooed once again, one final time, and then went silent. Carl continued to rock.
Carl.
Biding his time and mentally wrapping up the loose ends to his plan that so far, minus a few hiccups, had generally been a success. A soft moan from across the room on that illuminated dais snapped Carl from his contemplations.
Carl.
His battered spouse was still alive. Quite the feat for the amount of lifeblood she had lost during the procedure. She had taken the pain remarkably well, and the still wet spot on the front of his khaki trousers was proof that Carl had enjoyed his work immensely. He had thought to make his lovely wife drink the tainted roadie, the one she had spiked and meant for him. There was a certain sense of poetic justice in that act, but in the end, his darker needs had overruled the romantic and poetic side of things, as they always had in his life. He was aware of how mechanical, scientific, and absolutely devoid of human emotion and empathy he was. He was also aware, but that didn't mean that he cared. It just allowed for better assimilation. It allowed him to blend into society, to get close and impregnate a woman who was not only his mental peer, but who was in fact just a tad bit smarter than him. 4 points. 4 lousy points, good callback, had separated their score on the MCATS. He wouldn't allow that slight. He couldn't suffer to live in a world where he was second best to some woman. And it was time to find... That must have been cool. And it was time to finally... And it was time to finally rectify and complete the injustice and embarrassment that was his wife.
Final chapter.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained, sir. It doesn't take much. I'm intoxicated.
Wow.
No way. I feel like we should
By
let
the-
the
by
room
the
know.
story.
When did that happen?
Never.
Everybody, I'm here. I'm drunk.
She falls down the stairs.
I did not fall down the stairs. I walked down them fine.
God,
Yeah.
shh.
In hindsight,
Sorry.
We
wow.
need to know what happened. Now I need to know.
Why aren't you reading that?
Spoiler alert, didn't even take all 17 pages for me to be invested in what's going to happen to Carl and Ellie. Carl. Well done, gentlemen.
12 claps.
I hate scrolling at this. All right, so let's, Cole, just for the listeners, and so I can kind of take a drink, would you please, for this last chapter, this final end run, recap
Reset.
for the audience the
What's
story?
going on so far? We've got Carl. We've got
Carl, drink.
The story so far. No, what is it? What's the name of this? Give me the name.
with it, Untitled by Cole J and
Everybody else, right?
Utopia realized.
Okay, so we're gonna go. We'll do it via Lost. We're gonna go.
I was thinking of Paul Harvey,
Called Grant.
and that is the rest of the story.
Previously on Utopia, Lost.
We've got Carl, who's a intellectual, a surgeon, so respected by his peers, also hated by his peers, also a closet serial killer / sociopath. He falls in love with a young girl named Elle. They develop quite the life together, and through a series of events, they find themselves with her pregnant, bearing his child. He knocks her out, puts her in his back seat because she confronts him over some issues we had to gloss over because of time. He's basically selling drugs on the black market, whatever. You want to get into that?
Sure,
We
sure.
won't get into that. So we find her in the back seat. They drive into her hometown of Pandora Falls. We discover...
To be clear, far
Far
away
yes,
from anyone,
from anyone.
and then farther.
And then further.
Okay.
We discover that there are some diseased animals that have appear to have gone through a zombie apocalypse type scenario.
Sure,
They
sure.
attacking people. They escape, and she's still incapacitated in the back seat. Fast forward to them.
He's got a
They're in the
timeline.
cabin. There's some sort of timeline that's been alluded to. They do a cesarean section. She's laying on the table, barely clinging to life, incoherent. He's got a newborn baby in his arms, walking up to the table. Hit it, Grant, Markham,
Wow.
golden voice, the throat
Final
in the
chapter.
industry.
The throat of the industry.
Yep, that's him.
Grant the throat mark.
Yeah,
What industry?
podcasting.
Oh.
Utopia Lost, the final chapter. Carl found himself hovering over Ellie, standing just to the right of the blood-splattered surgical tools. In case you didn't miss that they were blood-splattered the last line. Gripping his favorite implement in his hand, the infamous scalpel. How naturally that cold, sanitized steel felt in his grip. His hands were his livelihood. Working alongside that surgical tool, he had carved quite a portfolio of patients. Working alongside that surgical tool, he had carved quite a portfolio of patients and much lesser known victims throughout his career. A career of a surgeon with a dazzling intellect, a score of plus 500 on the MCAT charts. He was MC 515, and he was about to exterminate the 519 laying on her back. Let it go, Carl! Jesus, 4 points!
So he's got a problem. He's hung up.
Drink more.
Lower abdomen sliced cleanly opened and exposed, breathing shallowly and raggedly through her mouth and her nose. He knew she was fluttering on the edge of consciousness. He knew in all actuality that she more likely wouldn't remember these moments or even the events of the night after she hit her head, because that was how the traumatized mind works. Who was he fooling? Oh my God, you guys, who wrote this part? There's so much. Oh, okay.
Problems with this part.
Well, the good part.
I'm getting there. I'm going to burn
Grant,
through
is
this.
that
Hang on.
You found a way to criticize each one of us without even knowing it.
It's perfect. Would we expect anything less?
You know what? Next year, he's writing a
No,
story.
that's why you're reading it.
Victims throughout his career, a career. But then you guys have commas that. So when I'm reading, you put commas for
Hey,
those pods.
Are you editing or reading?
He
Throat.
can't help it. Have
No.
you talked to him? He'll correct you while speaking.
Throat.
Talking about Grant?
All right,
Yep.
here we go.
Okay, just making sure.
Who was he fooling?
Nailed it.
No, we're talking about the throat of the industry.
Ah, the throat of the industry.
That's
One more
soon to
page,
be
Grant.
taken
I
over
cannot
by a
believe
female.
Kyle wasn't given this to edit before giving it to me. Who was he fooling? He silent mused to himself. The whole line of thought was a moot point. Corpses don't remember anything. His faithful and reliable hand slowly descended toward Ellie's throat, a wicked grin crossing Carl's face.
Carl!
The wet spot in his khakis pants slowly begins to tent as his elation increases more and more with the descent of his hand.
What? His pants were tending with elation.
Hold on, it's getting good.
Yeah, really.
I think we have a different
Blood
idea of good, Jason. but
everywhere.
Okay.
I think he's reading ahead.
I'm waiting for the audience to settle.
Oh, okay.
When it's such a riveting story, Grant, they'll never
Hey,
quiet.
Grant's got the stage.
I'm sorry.
He can feel everything so clearly. He feels almost alive. His senses on overdrive and heightened. He places the blade of the scalpel directly on Ellie's I can't say that word. Carotid artery
Carotid.
with the slightest pressure. The area feels alive. His heart is racing. His hands steady as a surgeon, because he is one, dude.
Fruit.
He glances to her face and checks to see if she is cognizant as he prepares to slice. Abruptly, the area is bathed in light, flooding into the room and lighting it completely, even in the darkest recesses of the corners. Instinctively, he draws his hands up to his eyes in an attempt to shade them. That's when he hears a muffled but strong voice from directly behind him.
Carl.
If you value your life, you will keep your hands where we can see them.
I thought the baby was talking.
Daddy.
Daddy.
I'm sorry. Please continue.
That's when he hears a muffled but strong voice from directly behind him. If you value your life, you will keep your hands where we can see them. On pain of death, don't lower that scalpel.
Very medieval reference there. Somebody wrote.
Is there Iron Maiden in there? What is this?
Carl complied. What other choice did he have? He clearly was in no position to argue as the front door swung open and 3 well-armed tactical soldiers walked into the small cabin living room, their shadows casting a silhouette. Drop the cutter, Carl.
Carl.
That same muffled voice instructed. The scalpel hit the floor. Carl placed his precious surgeon hands on top of his head and interlaced his fingers without being asked. The bright rapist...
The rapist?
Carl.
What the hell? The bright rapist light finally clicked off.
It's an
And the,
adjective. Leave it alone.
Yeah, the bright rapist light.
apparently there's special lights for rapists.
It
Okay.
raped the darkest recesses of the room's corners. I'm defending clearly Courtney's writing here.
The finish line is doing really well here, guys. All right, let me get through this nonstop,
Courtney's
please.
writing. I got
Now I'm going to burn through it. Here we go.
Okay.
burn.
That's a lie, by the way. The bright rapist light finally clicked off and the room returned to normal. After a few moments, Carl was able to identify the intruders. It was the 500s, of course. How stupid he must seem to them. All of his planning, all of his secrecy, all of his efforts on the night for naught. They had him dead to rights, and he knew his fate was decided well before he implemented this plan. His face flushed with embarrassment as he dropped to his knees. How did you find me? Carl queried as he lowered his head to take in the floorboards with his shameful gaze. Please, Carl, what you think of as a Please, Carl, what you think of as a well-laid-out plan, rife with risk management and meticulous action, is nothing more than a child's musings in a sandbox when compared to the combined collective intellect of the 500. Oh, you showed resourcefulness, cunning, creativity, all of that, but you have broken the rules. You have attempted to inflict harm on one of the higher intellect than yourself. You have, in effect, shown red, and those who show red must be chastised. This is the way of the 500, Mandalorian. Of course, this would be how it ends, he bitterly thought. He had gotten greedy with his needs. Of course, Ellie had been contacted by the 500s. She was, in fact, smarter than him by those fucking 4 points. She was probably contacted first. She probably knew all about their plan to release the strain to wipe out the lower intellects on the planet and to start over with only those select few who had a 500-plus score, Logan's run. He hadn't counted on their efficiency or organization, at least not to this extent. Can I make one final? His words were interrupted with a loud gunshot cracking through the air. The sound was deafening in the small room, and outside the diseased wildlife in the area scattered. The bullet entered the back of his head in a small dime-sized hole and blew out his magnificent brain as it exited his eye socket in the size of a fist, spraying blood and gray matter all over the floorboards. His body toppled forward and lifelessly hit the floor. The man standing behind Carl's corpse gestured with the pistol. These 3 men in front of him parted to reveal a small, lithe woman wearing a surgeon's gown with an operating tray. She proceeded forward, bent over Ellie, and began working. Utopia lost. Epilogue. A short while later, 3 blacked-out vans turned their lights on, backed away from the cabin, and drove down the road. As they left, the sounds of a child crying could be heard coming from the interior of the cabin, the only sign of life left in the area. Far, far, far away from everyone. All sorts of wildlife, from bears to moose to wolves, encircled the cabin, drawn by the smell of blood and the cries of what seemed to be easy prey. Soon the cabin was engulfed with wildlife, 10 deep on all sides, like Noah's Ark. Their rabid, broken minds wouldn't allow them to attack for some reason, despite the desires imparted by the viral strain running through their blood. A large gray wolf makes her way through the wildlife. Lots of wildlife. Far away. Far, far away.
It's really close.
They part for her as she is clearly the domain leader in this area. The wolf makes its way to the cabin doors and enters. It sees the dead man, can smell his already decaying flesh, but can also smell the overpowering smell.
Too many smells.
Wow.
Overpowered.
It smells in this room.
The smell.
That was a good one. But can also smell the overpowering smell of the infant still covered in fresh blood from its mother. It can hear and sense the desperation in the child's wailing. She approaches, the strain coursing through her blood imparts the desire to feast, but something's different about this child. She hesitates. She sniffs one final time,
Smell.
and in that inhale senses the brokenness of this child. The terror in its mind, the fragile, tenuous grip it holds to reality born only through the fires of trauma and struggle. Her sense enhanced by the strain, she recognized one akin to herself, one who might someday organize those infected and lead them out of this plight. The she-wolf exhales and tenderly licks the blood from the child's face. Her wails taper off, and she quiets. Outside, the strain, infected animals stir and clamor. Inside the cabin, all is serene, and the she-wolf begins caring for the fragile and damaged child. The end.
It's like the Lion King in the zombie universe.
Well read.
All right.
All right, time for venturing guesses, Grant. Part 1, 2, and 3.
Tear us down.
Cole, can you break it into the three
No,
parts?
hang on one second. Here's what I'm going to say. In whole, what you guys had me read, excellent, right?
Okay.
From a constructive standpoint, your grammar, like placements for commas, way off the mark. That's how when somebody's reading, that's where, like when I'm reading fast especially, that's where I determine where the pregnant pause is, how a sentence is supposed to be strung together.
We wrote this in a week, less than a week.
Yeah, no one really did a whole lot of
Okay,
proofreading.
that doesn't change my critique, does it?
No,
it
it's
does
correct. We are giving you the reason for it being correct.
Two, the over descriptiveness or repetitive descriptiveness is super challenging when you're reading as a
Or redundant descriptiveness.
That too.
Yeah, to say it 3 times.
To be fair though, I will say as funny and uncomfortable as last year's reading was doing alien porn or erotica, whatever the hell you had me read.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get by.
This is actually done very well, but as a movie lover,
not as entertaining.
As a movie lover, I literally was like thinking as I'm reading about all the different movies that this is pulling from, each little thread, that I was going. Why Kyle wasn't allowed to fix it all before you gave it to me, I don't know. But
Grant, we're just really looking for you to guess who wrote what part.
I don't know. My heart is literally still pounding from the stage fright. So I'm just starting to get out of. When I say blackout, I mean that. Like,
yeah, you narrow your focus.
Outside, everybody sees that I'm on
dog
mic and
the
just
whole
doing it,
story
right?
And find all the negatives. We're like, hey, what do you remember? What was
Inside
good?
my
Don't
head,
know.
it's literally a black
Commas,
void
not enough commas.
where I'm trying to be the character and do the shtick, but also be entertaining.
You realize this isn't about you. This is about us.
Yeah.
All right, Grant.
Sorry,
beginning,
Courtney, wrong show.
Beginning, middle, and end.
You're in trouble.
Brian Hughes says, I'm pitching a tent listening to this story.
Thank you.
Grant.
Dave Meyer, I see you in the chat, and what I want you writing next year, and that is what I'm going to read.
And more.
You have
hold
1
on.
year, Dave Meyer.
You're telling us that this didn't work.
No, what I'm saying is I want Dave Meyer
He was supposed to be part of it, but he was too
to
busy.
write the next time I have to do something because I've read things he's wrote, and I want to see what he can come up with for us. That's it. It wasn't a slight to
Well
you.
written.
I told you I liked what I read. I'm going to go back and read everything that I did not read for the audience because I am interested.
So, and just give us a guess. Who
Now?
wrote what?
Well, there's.
I literally blacked out. What part didn't you understand?
There's a part that goes up to the gas station.
Okay, so beginning, middle,
There's
and
a
end.
part that
There's 3
goes
different
to-
separate parts.
And each of you wrote differently?
yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to say the
Yeah.
last part, probably Courtney, possibly Cole. Jay simply writes better than that last chunk that I wrote. I think it was pretty obvious
That you wrote.
No, that one of them wrote.
Grant.
Yes, I said you probably wrote not the last part. So it was Cole or Courtney that wrote that last chunk. You don't generally tend to be over descriptive or redundant, I guess, from the things that I've read and things that you and I have worked on. So it's hard to, if you were writing fast and not self-correcting.
Yes.
So like when you're writing, you're a carpenter, and then when you're
Jay wrote 10 pages.
right, but here's what I'm saying:
And there were
when you're
17.
writing,
Really?
the best way to get stuff out through stream
Yeah.
of conscious is you're a carpenter, you're building, and then you go back and you're the judge. So there's two stages of writing: is carpenter
Right.
and judge. So if Jay had short on time, he's more apt to make mistakes that he normally wouldn't make if he wasn't judging his own work. And so those redundancies or those grammar
Oh,
errors,
I judged the fuck out of it.
then I don't think.
Yeah, he also had it for the longest time.
So I'm going to say at least the first part was you. That's my guess. The
You were
first part
so
was you.
fucking spot on when you said
Yeah.
red herring at the beginning because Jay was trying to confuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You called red herring right away.
Your gut instinct was 100%.
I wrote this particularly for you not to know that it was me. Like I fucking like went over this with a fine tooth comb.
No.
Well, I know
I
there's
know
certain-
you. I know you. I
there's
know you're
certain-
writing. I know
yeah.
you're writing. Even if you try and fuck it, there's
Really?
like it. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd fuck my writing.
Well, what I'm saying is by trying to throw that red herring in there, it's like even that's indicative of you, right? I mean,
True. Yeah.
so
By the way, we're with child.
and that's funny. And frankly, and this isn't a slight to Courtney or to Cole. That first big chunk is really well writ, and you're a writer, right? So even though you're throwing in red herrings and stuff, it's still really the setup is there.
There's a lot of setup there. Yeah.
The last I have no idea.
I wrote the end. He wrote the middle.
Okay. So yeah, and that's where I was at. Obviously.
I wrote up. I jumped the cesarean because I didn't want all the description, and then Cole went back and captured the cesarean and made it the final plot point.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for putting me on the spot. You guys tune in to, I don't know, whenever Jay and I actually record again, when I talk to him after this day is over, for the on hiatus, where we cover every thought I had while I was doing this in front of all of you.
Good job. Go
Next.
Class. Go class.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
Okay, Quad. What was the story you said? You had a real
Logan,
story about
Beth,
a
feel
neighbor
free to
that
text
was
me.
like as sadistic as.
Yeah, my neighbor. Okay, so my neighbor. I live in a college town, Chico, and my neighbor was like a physician's assistant, but he did all the medical exams for the local teachers and nurses and all that stuff. So he had access to all these drugs. Well, he would drive around college town, 2 a.m., watching for girls, 20-something, wandering home, staggering home with their high heels in their hands, and he would capture them, put them in the back of his car, drug them,
God.
rape them, and then throw them out, but he wouldn't kill them. And he did that for at least 10 or 15 girls until one of the girls he raped, her dad worked for the FBI. And so the FBI came and they said, we're putting a hot bright light on this town, and we're going to catch this motherfucker. And they did, and they sent him to jail. And the wife was on Dr. Phil talking about how I didn't know. I knew he had syringes in the garage and stuff, but he told me they were just left over, and those zip ties that he had, he told me for the pool.
My God.
So it was a little eerie. So when I read your starting, I'm like, I know this guy.
Really? That's pretty fucking freaky.
Yeah, so
It's
Yeah.
delayed.
It's coming through on the mic.
Who am I hearing?
All
Oh.
the things.
That's true.
Run next door.
Home? Okay. I thought you were going to Miss Renee's.
Yeah.
Go watch SpongeBob with her.
If they need dinner, you can
Hey.
put one of those classes in there.
If she's watching SpongeBob,
And so
if
that's
she's
all we
watching
have.
SpongeBob, take a picture because we have to prove it to the audience. The neighbor watches
Oh,
SpongeBob.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not nice.
Okay.
That's just that's not nice.
Grant, who's the neighbor?
Hey,
Yeah.
be better.
Oh, let's give away some gift cards.
Jason,
Yeah.
Jason, look at me. Be best.
Okay. That'll be the best. All right. You in the chat
We got,
room. There's 12 people in
Stunfish
the
will
chat
appreciate
room.
that.
We're going to give away.
He's being unkind to the neighbor. I said be best.
Listen, we're going to give away some gift cards here. It's a $15 Starbucks and a Amazon. I'll be honest, I put different amounts on these, so it's going to be a surprise. I'll write your names on it. Who wins it? The first question is whoever types it in the room first wins the Starbucks. And what was the name of the gentleman in this story?
Would you like a cookie?
No. Thank you.
Chat room.
Yes, what?
I'm watching.
Let's see who's first.
Dave. Haha, Dave is working on it. That's great. Oh, wait. Joel reviews. Joel's joining us later this evening, correct?
Yes, we have to talk about that off air. I might have to message him.
Uh-oh. Joel, it sounds like you're being booted.
No. Joel will be welcome to join us, but I have to figure something out.
All right. Oh, something was planned. Joel says, a super creepy guy. Do you want to be on mic?
Joel
Reviews
Joel
wins.
wins the Starbucks.
Team C,
Okay,
you're up.
Amazon card 2. Look, there's a 2 and a from on this.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm picking on you.
Who are we giving the Amazon card to? A question. Ask a question.
Yeah. Well, can I just pick someone?
Yeah, why not?
Nice. I'm going to give it to Joel. Joel gets the first gift card. I like the
We
fact
already
that
gave Joel one.
Oh,
Yeah,
He
he
already
picked the
won it.
question.
Good
Yeah.
job, Grant.
I was distracted by the
It's fair.
audience.
That's all right.
All right, you got it right though. You're right. He
Okay.
wins.
2 from MPS. Monkey Poo Studios. Who gets the other one? Grant.
Can we scroll through the chats? Let's see. Whoever pops out in the chat. So the reason why I was going to give it to Joel, which I obviously missed, you already did, was he was yelling at me for criticizing the pros.
Yeah.
Clearly, he hasn't listened to enough episodes where you and I banter.
He has.
That's even funnier. Great. Wow, not a lot going on in here. You know,
They were riveted.
anyone who's in here, go and grab 5 people for the next hour, no matter what a disaster and train wreck
Right.
or shit show it is, and bring them. And then they can at least be like, oh my God, guys, did you see 7 Days a Geek in hour 7 and what a wreck it was? Or they're,
Grant, I like
they're
it.
going to
I
show
like
up
it.
and
What we're
it's
gonna
going to be
do-
a fucking hit. Either way, viral behavior, people
We're
will
gonna-
be into it.
I think we should watch the
Yeah, I
chat,
agree.
and when someone says Carl brought me, then we give it.
Carl.
Okay, who are we giving the Amazon card to?
That one guy who said the one thing.
That one guy that said the one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, you know, if we're looking
It's-
there, let's
It's either Kyle or David.
let's give it to Dave. Let's
Dave-
give it to Dave Meyer.
Meyer?
Yeah, let's give it to Dave Meyer. Dave Meyer, you have won a gift card.
Do they have Amazon in? Oh, a Fire gift card. Do they have those
It is
in
an Amazon.
Do they have that in Texas?
He's in Texas, so I imagine he
Okay.
does. That's right. He gave up his maple syrup for the American flag.
Right, I had him in.
He's a patriot now.
Dave.
Texas. Don't mess with Texas.
All right. All right. We've
Texas
given
in the
these two
room,
away.
actually,
We've got more to
representing.
give away. Please tell your friends. Let's reset this. How are we running here? Okay, we're only a half hour behind schedule. All right.
There is no schedule. Stop.
False. There is. I'm in America now, he says.
Yeah, with
All right,
guests.
we're going to shut this. We're going to leave YouTube going. We'll mute the mics for a minute. We will reset and we'll be back. Enjoy what's happening on the cameras. Hey,
Do we
how's
have
the
to mute
sound-
the mics? And
how's
just
the
so you know,
sound
when you
of
do that,
Quadfather?
it doesn't
No.
mute them.
It doesn't?
No.
Sounds fine? Okay, good.
No, I mean, I don't think you can mute the mics that way. I'm not sure how the board is working for you, but
I might have another one of those sandwiches, please.
I think
use the restroom.
just to be, my family abandoned me, so
did.
clearly they didn't hear that 6th hour, which so far has
Wow.
been the best, if you ask me.
Yeah,
the
a
one
lot
they
of
didn't
you.
hear?
They're lost in the corn maze.
I got to be honest, Courtney, you are on me like flies to shit. I swear to
I
God,
thought
you
that's
did
what
that.
you
You
were
He
did
does
this
that to
last
everybody.
year.
He does it to everybody.
You did this last year
Oh, yeah.
when Colleen
I
was
just
on.
pick.
And
picked.
and I went home and I cried about it, and then I spent the
Thank
next
you.
year worrying about it until today, and here we are.
Oh,
This is still
I love you, Grant.
didn't eat hardly any
Yeah.
of it.
Fuck with the guy who has depression issues, Courtney.
So much pizza.
Yeah,
Really,
we still
right?
have like 7 hours to
You
go.
can live through this.
I had so much. We got a pizza flight.
There's still a lasagna upstairs.
There's so much food.
You want some cookies?
Oh my God, she's gonna ask me again.
I guess.
You guys want some cookies? Name the movie. Don't say anything, Jay. Name the movie. You guys want some
I'm not
cookies?
gonna be able to name the movie.
All right, how about this?
Someone go in the bathroom?
Chris Kattan.
No,
Kyle went to the other room.
Chris Kattan is not gonna help me.
Jay. You guys want some cookies? Chris Kattan. Name of the movie.
The Roxbury?
Go to the bathroom.
It's the only Chris Kattan movie I know.
He's at the fucking door and like.
And he's dressed like a Girl Scout. I'll wait till you come out of the bathroom.
He's got a tea bag.
Sunfish, you know that while you are just enjoying
Yes.
and you're here,
I heard sunfish.
jump in, throw in
Right.
commentary, walk over, step over, interrupt. Be a part of it. Enjoy yourself. Don't just,
Wait,
I just didn't have
clearly the
anything
people
to,
that aren't
say
even on
earlier.
mic can't stop talking.
R-
So if you're going to be
If I
on
get that,
mic,
he means me.
talk away.
Talk away. All right.
I was generalizing so as not to finger point,
You
Jean.
can finger point. It's fine.
I'm not carrying any bitterness about you calling me Team B years ago.
You are Team B.
Would you
I
like
still love
anything?
you.
Let's remember, I started out as Team A and willingly
No.
became Team B.
According to my
Would you like anything?
T-shirt, you were never.
Is there anything I can get for you?
I probably should use another water. I usually don't drink pop, and I'm over caffeinated.
We're over-caffeinated?
I don't know anybody else around here that might be over caffeinated.
Me.
No, these guys all drink and eat so unhealthy with that energy crap.
I had 12 cups of coffee before I got over here this
I
morning.
don't drink energy crap, but I do drink coffee nonstop.
I drink caffeine.
Black
Like I don't drink coffee. I drink tea, but I drink.
Yeah, that's fine.
Here's what I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying the two of you, and you're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the because I'm also married,
Right.
and I'm paying attention because my wife,
Paying
she's not here, and a lot of times she tends to be involved in one way or another. And one of the Podtoberfests took place at my house where I hosted way more people.
My husband said he didn't want
And
to
we would have the same thing going on
Right.
where these
Being married, you have that
these
communication
nonverbal
without-
communications that you guys are doing. Like I am right there with you. I'm paying attention quietly,
Yeah.
and it's an absolute beautiful thing to witness. And I you guys, you do you. It's fun to watch. And, it's like I'm waiting for the one where you're like. and then casual, I'll just lean back and maybe I'll look like I'm looking over here, and I'll be looking at her, and she'll do one of these. She'll be like,
I don't have to pee that bad.
Get in there, Kyle.
and then you'll give her the whatever the signal is for, like, time, and then there'll be like an agreement or a disagreement. You'll negotiate quietly, and all nonverbals, right? You'll negotiate quietly instead of just going, "You ready to go?" And her go,
The heat's off.
"Yeah, we're good."
I thought you meant the mic, or the mic's off.
Do that.
You do
Like,
that?
well, then the whole, well, I don't want to be rude, nonverbal communication. You're like, yeah, I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time? Yeah, it's okay. Well, you ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Like, all of those nonverbals are the most beautiful thing about, a married
Will
couple.
you tell
Right.
Swanee to call?
You're in tune.
Cole is
Yes.
perfectly calm because he's usually ranting from Quadfather.
What's that?
It's like Cole has nothing to do.
Oh my God, he put on his wife beater.
Yeah, he's not here.
That's not what.
Courtney, ladies and gentlemen, Quad is representing the Agent Palmer podcast. Don't.
Agent Palmer.
Who wants a cookie?
What?
Oh my God.
Yes, my love.
Dearly departed Agent Palmer.
And now I can't remember what that movie is. Oh, there's my girl.
There's my girl.
It's a good thing you have a cell phone that you can Google.
Yeah, we don't do that on this show.
You
I
totally
anytime we're
Google-
talking about movies,
No, Cole usually
I
is like,
try
yeah.
not to cheat if I don't know it and I've lost it.
He tries not to
It-
cheat, but that's why it burns.
But he cheats all the time. I got you.
No.
Ex-wife's first sensation he had.
No, I mean if I can't do the pull from memory, then I don't think it's fair to look it up.
Yeah.
Unless
then
it's
you'll-
My girl.
Right.
My girl.
yeah.
No, later.
Oh, yeah.
Where
All right, I
is
get it
Swanee
now.
at? I can't find it.
That's rude.
That's
Terrible,
funny.
yes?
I just texted him.
I haven't
never
let
gave
my
me his
I haven't
number,
let my kids
goals,
watch that
my- oh,
movie
shit.
because I was so traumatized by it.
Quad.
He got
He
killed.
was supposed to give me his
Like
number
he-
or
Yeah.
respond to something,
It's
and I
that
gave him my
sharp
Skype, and he was
left
supposed to call him by
turn where-
3, and there's
where
nothing from
they
him. So
subvert
I don't know if he's joining.
I
expectations
don't know.
in
He
the
just
movie,
texted
right?
me
Right.
about
You're going,
UFC,
like,
so I just texted
dude,
him back.
Shout out to
It's
Dan
a kids.
Aykroyd for
It's
being
kind
the
of a
dad.
kids movie.
Okay, question.
Well,
Or
it is.
family. Yeah.
Question real quick here. We have an ELE script, right? But I wasn't able to download sound effects or anything to go with it.
Skip it. Move on.
Okay, so we'll just
No.
Pick up.
Skip the
No,
roast.
pick up the thing. Here's the thing. Pick up the things that we've
Skip the
lost
roast.
That's what I'm saying.
and cobble it together.
Yes. All right.
All right.
So I'll make notes that hour.
Don't be
Is Joel
disappointed.
still
We
in the
gotta
chat
roll with
room?
what we know.
I'll do it, but I'll do it.
You know, it could be fine. We could just go long tonight. It's not a big deal. Just run all three of it, all of it. We run a half an hour long. We're a half an hour behind. 35 minutes behind right now.
You'll be about
What's
an
the big
hour
deal?
by
Okay,
the
look.
time you get.
You're the best.
All we have to do is cut short anything that doesn't include a guest and make sure that we're on time for a guest. Everything else, we'll just
Right. Yeah, true.
no panic, needed.
I don't know, Pat.
I'm perfectly calm. Calmer than you
I
are.
call me you are.
I'm sober.
I was calm before I started listening to Grant, and then
I heard someone
Great,
is
thanks.
drunk there.
He'll take that
Sanchez.
seriously.
yeah, all right.
You know
sorry.
what? It'd probably be better if we
Give him a
just
hug.
sit and talk politics.
No, we did that the first floor.
He's on my side.
I know that. That was the joke I
How do
was
you know
making.
that?
Because you told me.
Because I said
I'm
we're
on
on the
no
right
side.
And the
side
very
of the table.
yeah.
I'm on no
Listeners,
side.
how are we doing
I'm on
today?
my own side.
No, you're on my side.
Well, I'm on a side.
Our sides align for the most
I'm
part.
on
If you
A
described
side.
yourself, would
Yeah.
you describe yourself?
It's not your side.
We're on the right. So
Okay.
if this
Swanee
is
said
dead
he
center
forgot.
right,
How do you
and
fucking
this is the
forget to
far
roast
right,
your best friend?
Where are you at?
I would say closer to the center.
So is he gonna
than
do it or
far.
not?
Definitely
Yeah.
closer to the center. I mean,
I'm texting
there's
him. Are you going to
there's
call?
things that I
He could call me.
believe
I
in
could
that
put him through the
Okay.
board.
people on the right necessarily wouldn't.
Top 2 favorite conservative, Republican, or represent your view.
Rush Limbaugh.
It doesn't matter what age or year or whomever. You know, so if you were Republican,
right
like
now, honestly-
Ronald Reagan, like that kind
Oh
of.
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I
where
don't
are you
have-
at there?
I don't have a lot of like politicians.
You are on the air.
Ah,
I
loser.
appreciate.
He doesn't talk.
No, I appreciate like news, but stuff that I feel is center or maybe a little more to the right. But I'm not going to watch Fox News or anything like that.
Right,
Watch
like
a lo-
I'm left and I don't watch CNN.
Right. Well, I
I'm
watch
right-handed.
a lot of Tim Pool, which I know some people
Yeah,
are
Tim
like,
Pool.
but
Okay.
Tim Pool,
Yeah,
he
sure.
started out
Deadpool?
one side and he's kind of flowing over to that.
But he's an
Can't
opinion.
understand
He's
that,
an
Claude.
opinion piece, right?
Yeah,
That's the one discussion I have, and I don't know if you and I ever discussed this, Cole. But like the real issue in media today,
his opinion.
and,
Okay,
and
go
the
ahead, I muted
argument
him.
that
Let it
both
fix it.
Is he
sides
gonna be able
make
to
is
talk?
that
Like,
you're
are we
far
gonna
right,
hear
far
him?
left, right? They're all talking heads
Why?
opinion pieces. There are
Yeah,
very
can they hear
good
me?
Yeah,
journalists
they can hear you. But I
left.
muted
Right.
them for you.
You know,
That's one thing I think would fix a lot of things is
I'm
if
not- I'm-
agreed.
the next person that gets stuck in the biggest
know what we're
position
doing.
says
I think you're supposed to
from
roast
now
me,
on,
which means that
if
you would have
news
to
is
write
an
something.
opinion, there needs to be a warning at the
So-
beginning.
how
of it.
come
Well, we can-
my
we
generation
can
didn't
let
get
you
a
off the
Walter
hook if you want.
Cronkite?
Did no one fucking write a roast for this hour besides me?
I like Melissa.
And Stunt and
Well,
Gene.
it's
I
on
did
YouTube.
almost all the other
You
hours, so
wanna
I just didn't get to it. Like I started writing one, and
Okay.
then I had to
Swanee
do
has
this
nothing
No,
prepared.
fairness.
two, for 2 fucking days.
Yeah, we know.
I've had
Quad, do you have
Walter
anything
Cronkite
prepared?
was before
No,
the
hey, I
internet.
didn't-
so
I
how do
didn't
we
write
know
my
he was
reply
opinionated or
before
wasn't
you.
Yeah, see?
opinionated?
No one did.
You know,
You
I
wanna
I
just
think
get to-
you know what? That's a great argument to
Roast
make.
him later
and so, but
as an
what
episode?
you can only do then is go
Sure.
based on the
They're-
way he
Well, he wrote
reported
something and
Right.
drove all
and
the way.
how he
I mean,
presented
whatever.
those
Very
stories,
true.
right?
Okay,
Right.
let's
So
do it.
no different than
let's,
Dan Rather.
We'll make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Right?
just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
All right, we're
I
gonna
agree
do-
with
we're
you.
gonna do
saying
this.
those people had more
If,
control.
if
over
Swanee
it
doesn't
than
have
they
anything,
would
that's
today.
okay. Tell him we'll.
Yeah, that's-
I
that's
just
like,
I tried to
how
include
would
him.
somebody like
I was just thinking of him
Cronkite
as all.
survive today.
Right.
How would they survive?
Listen, what?
I mean, so one of the people I do enjoy on Fox
Well, we're not on air.
is
Well,
Wallace.
we are, but we're not.
Now I know he's a Democrat,
gonna go
right?
into the
See, I couldn't even name anyone on Fox.
But
don't-
but I
yeah.
still believe that
Well,
Chris Wallace is a journalist and not an opinion piece, in spite of the fact that he is, I believe, a registered Democrat, right? Who's the guy that left Fox News that started
talking?
it?
Who's that? Doesn't matter what age, what.
Shepard Smith,
I don't know. It
a
sounds like a
journalist,
making a phone call.
I don't
not
even know
not
who
an
that
opinion
is.
piece.
Oh,
talking-
I know what it
talking
is.
about,
My
you know?
thing is
I
there.
a long time
My-
ago.
that's the
long
going
time ago,
back
probably
to
4 or
the-
5 years
that
ago.
my
just
YouTube
stopped,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
8 years ago. Stopped watching news in
Well, how
general.
come
just
your framing
finding
changed? I
news
can't see you now.
instead of watching news.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
fair
show
enough.
his.
So that's why I don't like. I know Tucker
Okay.
Carlson, but only because he's so popular. I wouldn't have any. I mean, I know he's on Fox, but I know some people.
7 days a
that I never
geek,
watch.
7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh. Greetings and salutations, get ready to binge watch with 3 geeks. Couldn't stop Cole from eating, now he's the workout keto neighbor. Jason the Angry Ginger from Monkey Poo Studios, Limp and Quad Father gives us therapy from his couch. We're talking Netflix and Hulu, everything in the streaming world. Join our weekly watch party. First let's catch up with the geeks. What are you geeking out about? 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek.
Greetings and salutations, everybody.
Greetings and salutations.
This is live, and I'll stop eating now. We are live in Monkey Poo Studios. We're on, I don't know what hour it is. It's running long here, but we're in one of the hours.
We're an hour of 7,
right?
the roast.
Fair enough.
The 7th and a half to the 8th and a half hour.
Oh,
of-
wait. This is the roast of Quadfather?
This is going to be the roast of the Quadfather.
I'm going to step out of
Welcome to this episode. We're in live in Monkey Poo Studios. I'm the host, Angry Ginger. Greetings and salutations. There's you know what? Second mic today. Grant. He's going to help me run this hour because we're not roasting. Grant, say hi.
Oh, no. Cole is second mic. I've heard that 9 times today. Cole.
Don't
Actually,
be
it would only be
afraid
6
of
times.
me, Grant. You can participate.
That's right. Neighbor
You're
Cole is
not.
behind us, or in front of me. Jesus Christ, I can't.
Good
even
morning.
find- Good morning. You going to introduce your friend?
Yeah, I got to my right, sitting very suave and debonair with that hard part in his hair. I'm rhyming now. Poet, and I didn't even know it. We got the stuntfish. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. Just
Yeah,
chilling like a villain.
while we were breaking there between our recordings, I told Stuntfish that
you love him.
he's here. There's a mic in front of his face, and since everyone else is talking, he should talk into the mic. Jump in, interrupt, say what's on your mind.
Yeah, just that last hour, there wasn't a lot to say.
Oh, you
possibly.
You could have interrupted any time.
No, you'd have to
I
interrupt
probably would
Grant.
have appreciated it.
Yeah.
Carl. Everyone take a drink. All right, so this hour we're going to roast the Quadfather. I guess it was a year and a half ago. Was it the 300th? I wrote the 300th. I think it was the 300th episode of 7 Days a Geek. It was the 7-year anniversary, was it? 6 something. We roasted me. And so I thought, you know what, let's return the favor and let's roast someone else on the show. We didn't want to do both because it probably would have taken longer. So the idea was to roast Quad. Now, I really wish mine was ready after this week, but I had to fail somewhere.
It'd be
I had
too
to
mean.
fail.
I would
it
agree
would
with
have been
that. I
very
would agree
mean.
with that.
It
You
would
are
have been mean.
You are lucky you didn't
But I
answer
love
my
you, and you're
text.
still here, so.
You're lucky you didn't answer my call. You're lucky that
I had 3%.
No. I'm just what I'm
3%
saying
of
is
what, battery power?
What I'm saying is had you
Oh.
answered at that moment, Jay would have probably shredded you out of.
Oh, I got the video.
You.
He found a way through. I found it last
you
night
did
at
send the
like
video?
10:30
Sent
when
the
I got
video,
back.
even like the last 10 seconds. Do you guys think that worked? Like I didn't know it was still recording.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. So, would you do me a favor, please, as we continue on, and just throw the chat up on
I
the
sure
on the
will.
left for me? Thank you.
There you go. Okay, so yes, we're gonna roast the Quadfather for this hour, and I was smart enough to ask all of our studio audience to go ahead and write a little something to roast the Quadfather too, so they can share the microphone. Anybody who has something to say, we'll bring you up. But we do not have, I guess like my roast is, okay, dearest Quadfather.
Sure.
Yes, Jason.
Your idea was to let's do video.
Let's do.
And there
Let's do
happened
something
to be,
else.
there was
Let's do
this
something else
whole-
before you continue. Let's do the housekeeping. Real
That's
quick.
a good idea. That's
Okay,
see,
thank
I'm
you.
aggressive.
That you literally, just so everyone knows what kind of an asshole I am. I'm not being an asshole. He told me interrupt
did.
him
we know the
and do
kind
the
of
house.
I
Do
did.
the
we know the
housekeeping.
kind of
So-
asshole you are.
Oh, look at that! It's roast Courtney, and he's. Oh my God!
The
Courtney.
roast goes all the way.
Good.
The roast goes all the way, Grant.
Sure.
If you're here, you're going to get roasted.
Point being, I have
Okay.
to interrupt the
Hey.
intro to this episode.
Make
so
sure you
can
put the
housekeep.
verbal commas in the right place.
Okay.
I
Chat-
vote Grant 1.5.
Chat
Mike.
room, please start slamming Courtney with a funny, humorous tinge of a roast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I didn't go humorous. It's more so I tried to hurt people's feelings. Was
Okay.
I not supposed
that's
to do
fine.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
hurt my feelings.
That's a real
Yeah,
roast.
this is a real roast. It's a well done, not medium rare.
So like out of all of the hours, this is the one you put your heart into.
I mean, I didn't rehearse this like I did for yours, so I might this might be I'm trying to read through it and make sense of my notes better, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make this funny.
I got a response.
Do you want Grant to read it?
Ty Keller, if you could unretract
I know,
your
I'm
retracted
really curious
message.
what
Now
that
I
is.
want to know what the hell you
I don't know.
wrote.
The only time I've ever seen a message retracted in the chat room.
He's like, whoa, I didn't mean it.
Okay, so we got a hashtag game, dystopian dinner ideas. Cole says his examples are poisonous pot roast with mashed potatoes and man gravy, suicidal souffle, and horrendous hamburgers and fucked up French fries. So create your best dystopian dinner idea and then serve it on a platter via the chat room.
There you go.
Cannibal.
Who's our sponsor
cabbage.
this hour?
Our sponsor this hour is Our Liner Notes again.
Ooh, do I need to play?
We have another one, right?
another
They
one,
sent
yeah.
two.
You ready?
Yeah, let's listen to that.
Yeah, I'm late to the party. That Matt joined that
Yeah,
crew.
shut
Yeah,
your
he's
mouth. Shut your mouth for a
Your
minute.
parents are talking.
Here we go.
Late to the party. You didn't even show up last night.
This is Chris
Thanks,
from
Jay.
Our Liner Notes, a conversational music podcast. And here with me tonight is my co-host, Paul.
Nope, it's Matt.
Each week we play song clips based on a theme that Palmer and I...
It's Matt.
And we share our thoughts on the artist, share some interesting facts about them, and then weave in our own personal experiences.
That's right. So check out a new episode every Monday. You can find us on Twitter at OLinerNotes, and you can email the show at olinernotes@gmail.com.
You got it. Thanks, Paul.
Matt.
Till next time, this is Chris and Agent Palmer.
It's Matt.
Kristen, is that you?
God damn it.
It would have been funnier if Matt got his name wrong. Mark.
Oh.
Call himself Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, Tara is already saying Court Dog is clearly insane. He hangs out with y'all. Boom, everyone roasted.
Oh, everyone.
Quad is my favorite podcaster on four wheels. Brian Hughes.
Here we go. And Dave gives props to his cousin. Great promo plug. Radiation tacos with a side of mutation guac. I think that's for your outfit.
All right.
The roast starts with Grant. Okay.
Don't be jealous, Joel.
Yes. I'll just say a few words. Quad, yeah, yesterday I was extremely angry because of this whole thing. And the idea was, okay, weeks ago, let's go a little backstory here. Because it turned into this whole thing that I was going to be uncomfortable with video. And it wasn't that I was uncomfortable with video. I was uncomfortable with trying to run video that I'd never used before, never done it, never did anything.
You definitely have a face for radio.
So I think so. Quad. So well, I've admitted that for years. I have a face for, I don't know, a good painting. What? Oh no. Let's quiet down back there.
They're roasting.
Yeah. Roast my ass. Where
I
was
think Kyle has a roast prepared too, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Kyle's roasting.
Motherfucker, I'm going to kill you. These guys have all witnessed
me.
My meltdown.
I don't think he cares.
Right? Yeah.
I can't believe you're
Tomorrow.
wasting your time.
What? Now what? There's no option to send it.
It was still recording.
Stop.
I thought you held it down until you let go and stopped recording. It's still recording. Okay, yeah. So you go on vacation. Leave me high and dry. I don't know how to run this thing. I don't know.
Practiced before you
left.
left.
Practiced for you to get online and see if it
before I
worked.
left.
Not for me to know how the hell it
not
was.
knowing if I would be on Wi-Fi or
Right.
wired, and how do I stream and broadcast YouTube.
So I spent all day, like a day and a half, watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how I'm going to do this and how it's going to work. And then I sort of, Matt jumped in yesterday for a couple of hours, and we figured out how to at least give some type of like reasonable look to this thing. So it actually, I think it turned out better than how we were going to do it, Quadfather. So you did us a favor by fucking us over, is what I want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
By being
I know what it's like to be your wife
did
now.
you just imply that, hey, this was the best we could do and it's better than what he would have done to help us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just covering my bases.
Yes.
Wasn't even an implication; it was a statement.
I think it was. Yeah. Well, because we were gonna just screen capture with Quad, and now we kind of had like this nice little, couple of frames. Do you disagree?
I was just recapping. I just wanted to make sure I was following along.
Okay.
For the dim people in the audience,
I'd like to. Are you gonna recap every 5 minutes of this episode?
Only to piss off Courtney.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Carl is a surgeon,
Carl.
but he has a what?
Carl.
His IQ.
So yes, my roast doesn't exist, but I feel like I've roasted you pretty well the last couple of days. But I do love you, and I'm glad that you're here, and we're gonna have a good time. So who wants to? We want to bring anybody in the studio audience want to roast Quad
Kyle's
a little
got
bit?
one. So does Stunt.
Okay,
and
so
I've got one.
Stunt's at the microphone. So Stunt, you.
You want to lead it off?
I'm on the hot seat.
Yeah.
You're on deck, brother.
Oh, all right. Well,
he's got a good voice.
He does.
He
Thank
has a
you.
face and a voice for radio.
Well,
That's only because we said you guys look
I
like.
know,
Stop
that's what it
fishing for
was. Yeah.
fucking compliments, Grant.
He looks like your younger brother.
okay. So, into the mic. All
God,
right.
he does have a good voice.
Yeah, he does.
All right. So Cole and Jason kind of got a hold of me, asked me if I wanted to roast Courtney, and I was like, well, it's kind of weird to roast a handicapped guy. It's might kind of give me bad karma. But I was thinking that really, you think about it, Courtney's pretty much leaning into this handicap thing pretty well. I mean,
yeah.
he calls himself the quad father.
Yes.
So, that's pretty bad.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? But, yeah, so I got lost, of course. Sorry. Courtney came to 7DAG officially as a third chair, December 19th? Or December 2019?
Yep.
And originally 7DAG had 5 guys?
Yeah, something like that.
Originally it was 5.
5.
And then it kind of ended up, everyone kind of started leaving.
Then it was 2.
Then 2? So it
Yep,
was just...
That's when I was second chair.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So Jason, the angry ginger, and Grant, the hipster Colonel Sanders. With the new slogan, with every purchase, you get a free left wing.
That was a fucking slam dunk.
You get a chest full of gravy if you work for it.
But I mean, honestly, Courtney has been a great addition to 7 Days a Geek. He helps Jason a lot with editing and sound effects, even if they're not needed or if he's running over somebody with them. Andy talks about finally being on a successful podcast, which is nice after his 8 years.
What else you got?
What's that
Is
like?
it?
What's
Are
that
we
like?
done?
What's that like, Quad
Oh,
Father?
wait, he's going through them. He's still.
I'm going
Well, hold on.
through
I
them,
want
sorry.
to plan on that real quick. A successful podcast. You have your own podcast
Yep.
that you do with your best friend Swanee.
Wait,
that was
wait.
supposed to roast you today. You just called him and he forgot about it.
Hey, don't piggyback on Stumpfish's
No,
comedy.
no,
Yeah, the
it's all
biggest
right.
roast
I
of
got
all.
lost
Yeah,
anyway,
really,
so-
it was.
Furthermore,
epic. I was-
wait
yeah.
till complimenting him till the end of it, right?
That was a compliment. You're right.
If you're not aware, though, Courtney is a psychologist, and he tries to help people out a lot and always has a lot of things to say. But you'd think as a psychologist he'd be drinking out of the fountain of knowledge, but
It's weird
I
because
kind of think he's just gargling from it and spitting it back in. And Courtney does, though, you got to give him credit. He tries to bring a little culture into 7 Days a Geek with some of his movie choices, like Hamilton and the horrible
Lighthouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lighthouse. Yeah. Yeah. Courtney's picking a lighthouse pretty much sums up how he picks every movie, which is like throwing a lighthouse in the middle of the desert. Seems like a really bright idea, but it's really fucking useless at the end.
wait, is that a spoiler? I haven't watched The Lighthouse. Is it?
Oh,
no,
don't
no.
save
No.
your time.
All right, save my time.
No.
Excellent.
Make sure
Okay.
you watch the right one.
Yeah, make sure you watch the right one. It's 110 minutes you'll never get back.
But you like me lobster, don't you?
Fucking farts.
You like me lobster, don't you?
You know, Courtney, though, if we didn't like you, we wouldn't take the time to roast you. And although I've never met you or really talked to you, I feel like I'm still not missing anything.
If we didn't like you, we wouldn't take the time to roast you. Courtney, I don't like you, and I'm not going to roast you. Fair enough.
Good improv, Grant.
Good.
Good improv. Nicely done.
That's as far as it goes. Right
Yeah.
there. That's it. That's
There'll be
mine.
more.
That's
There'll be
mine.
more.
All right, am I up then?
You're up.
All right, Cole, you can go, and then we'll take an audience member to come on and take a seat.
All right, so Quadfather roast. All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad
This
that
is
you're
gonna
announcing what we're doing.
Yeah, it's on my document. I read everything word for word, comma placements and everything, just like,
It's like
That's
Baker's
That was where the
Stumpfish.
pauses go.
pregnant pauses.
Tom
Thank you.
says Quadcast podcast looks like he's joining the volleyball scene in Top Gun. Wait,
Sun's out, guns out.
Court is on vacation but didn't come to GR to be live?
Savage.
That's not a
roast.
That's not a roast. Just
Roasted.
facts.
Roasted.
Yeah, thanks,
Hashtag
Tara.
roasted.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Let's
This is
start
for all
this.
of us.
Let's start. This is for all of us, mother.
Yep.
Let's start this shit show off with the low-hanging fruit, shall we? Good afternoon, Jason.
Okay.
It's good to see you here again on another roast at your 36th Podtoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're stuck in a frozen fucking time warp here. Either hang this shit up or go kill yourself. The band is not going to make it. How many times can you breathe life into a dying corpse on one of your many shows on this vain and futile attempt to break into the industry?
Okay.
These aren't supposed to be jokes. They're supposed to hurt your feelings.
Yeah. My feelings are hurt.
I was going to say, who's
I
roasting?
lost my feelings like 8 years ago on this
What
show.
do we need to do to get your attention here, buddy? Maybe if
Be an
I-
ex-girlfrild?
How do I know? How do you know where I'm going with this? Maybe if I was a man-hating woke liberal, I could garner your attention for a bit. No?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a pot-smoking
You got a
closet
poster.
lesbian with financial issues. Closer? Is it closer? Please don't venture any further down that road. I can't imagine what manner of beast you would need to conjure next in order to grab your attention.
Wow.
Grant says,
Crack addict.
Am I next?
I didn't put you in here. I can. I can modify this for you.
How did you not make him one of my bitches?
That's ongoing.
Well, he said he wasn't putting anything in the roast. I
Sure.
didn't want to roast those innocent bystanders.
Okay.
So
And I appreciate that.
I mean, you wore that outfit. That's all you need.
yeah, that's all the joke we need. Tacos and cats. Speaking of getting your attention, how has your hearing been lately, Helen Keller?
Huh?
I mean, I get it. You. I mean, I get it. You deliberately don't like hearing certain things like, hey, honey, I might like to try vagina for a while. Or, Daddy, why don't you love me? But come on, this is getting ridiculous. Start listening to the people in your life. Take it from us. Give it up. Hang it up. Don't make me copy and paste another set of roast jokes for
The
next year's
podcasting? Give the podcasting up?
Yeah, just in life in general.
Oh, give the whole life up. Okay.
Speaking of loving roast, I guess I'm roasting Swanee now, but he's not here to hear.
No,
it.
it's roast his ass.
Yeah, he's not here. So speaking of loving roast, that brings us to Swanee, who in a room full of divorced men truly stands out.
Welcome to the club, Swanee.
If only you lost half your weight when you lost half your possessions in a divorce, eh? This is the utopia I want to live in. Swanee has lost more battles in court than the combined Third Reich when they're on trial at Nuremberg. It's roast
Too
people.
soon.
Too soon. There's one more too.
Comedy is subjective, right?
Little known fact.
You got to
Graham.
swing for the fences.
Yep.
Know what's going to land.
I said he lost more battles. They lost at Nuremberg. He lost
More.
stuff in court.
Right.
It's just a fact in history.
Yeah, he was
guys.
downsized to a trailer, wasn't
Read
he?
a fucking book, listening audience. Jesus. Little known fun fact, Swanee was the host of the Jaws ride at Universal Studios. This was back in his younger days, of course, when weight restrictions on watercraft were far less stringent.
Jesus.
It's remarkable how you were drawn to the Jaws attraction at such a young age, where a murderous beast relentlessly devours men over and over, leaving them torn and bloody and clinging desperately for any lifeline. Almost like a foreshadowing for your multitude of divorces.
Oh, nice.
No? Okay.
What about, do you have anything in there for, never mind, brain fart.
Well done.
Completely lost it.
Now you're writing
Wow.
on the fly.
Yeah. I'm going to need another Adderall.
Speaking of living in people's shadows, Quad, how are you and your sons doing? That was a direct question. Okay. I didn't know you could live in the shadows of your own child, but apparently it's true. I asked your boys what the key to their YouTube success was, and they replied, I learned everything from my dad. He taught me the key to success was to make sure you hit as many random buttons as possible in the middle of every recording and try to fuck everything up in every conceivable way. You were literally the... Okay, that was a winner, apparently. You were literally the only man I know who tries to leverage a career off of their son's popular YouTube channel. And
Something's wrong with Quad's sound.
And as today's proceedings have gone, you were obviously a failure at that as well. I mean, I'm not saying Quad is a bad father, but he took childcare classes from Casey Anthony. God, how I've waited for this day. How I loathe you so.
Here we go.
When I think back on the time I wasted watching the movies you've recommended for our show, or how many times I've had to fight the urge to kill myself mid-screening during another of your classic picks, it makes me want to roll your wheelchair into a swimming pool full of acid. Which, funny enough, is where your wife will dispose of your body in a wheelchair once she inevitably kills you in a fit of rage. Domestic violence is real, folks. It affects men, too. She will do some time for that, I'm sure, Quad, as you are being a protected class in a wheelchair and everything. I know you literally can't stand for this, so you're just going to have to sit there and take it.
That one took a second.
This next poll is for Grant. I feel like stabbing you in the leg like Christopher Reeves in Above Suspicion, but I feel like you enact that scene all too often with your wife whenever she jealously tries to get you out of your computer chair while podcasting with Jay and I.
I'm talking to my friends here.
That happened this morning. Were you guys paying attention when she did that?
She yells at him all the time. It's hilarious. Okay.
He's got nothing to say. You're on camera, sir.
I mean, has there ever been a more beta male, cuckold, whipped, broken, and defeated man in the history of men? Don't answer that, Swanee. The question was for Courtney. I mean, I'm not saying... this is an inside joke. Ready? Inside joke alert coming. I mean, I'm not saying Quadmother keeps Courtney on a short chain, but it has less links than a GoFundMe page for a new 7-dag computer. Get it, Quad?
Like that?
Did you get it?
I don't know that I understand it because I'm still caught in the fact that I think I supported that computer, and this trying to
This
get
was
people
a
to do
dig
it.
at
So I
Jay,
don't
too.
know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
I appreciate that.
That was a solid dig.
Owen, thanks for fucking showing up live from a hotel today and scheduling a family vacation on the one day of the year where we needed your commitment.
Right.
And great work.
That's the beta.
Yeah, and
That
great
was
work
the
on
beta.
great work on the live streaming as well. That went off swimmingly. Jason has
You're welcome.
definitely not had a nervous breakdown this week. You're about as useful in life as your legs are when you try to run from your wife when she decides to beat you for missing your chores. Just kidding.
This is so painful. Oh my god.
I told you I went for the
it's
throat.
all too real.
It's all too real.
Just kidding, Quad. You know we love your inept ass.
That's how you end it all.
I'm not done.
You completely hammered that. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
That's how it
Those are
works.
jokes.
You say sorry and it's all good. Just kidding, Quad. We know we love your inept ass. Just learn to read a calendar, try paying attention for a change, and maybe
Stop hitting buttons.
just maybe don't press those buttons. I'm talking about the actual. I'm talking about the actual ones on your Rodecaster Pro, as well as the ones directly linked to Jason's psyche. I'm sorry if I got carried away.
And Grant.
I'm sorry if I got carried away, but we've been carrying you for this long. I figured, what's the harm? Love you, buddy. Have a good night.
Oh. Love you too.
That's all I got.
I gotta start drinking.
Hit the beer.
I start drinking.
That was pretty well done. Impressive.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
You didn't hear the roast 2 years ago? Shit was funny. All right, now your turn. Kyle is up.
Kyle, bring it home, girl.
All right. I don't know about bringing it home.
Oh, it's gonna hurt. I don't like it when ladies pick on me unless they're unmarried.
Contrary to what your divorce shows or your marriage
Marriage.
shows. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Divorce
I
is
beat you
us.
to that one.
Sorry, Jason. It's me and you.
Okay, so this is written in the style of an Amazon review, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, I like it. This is like Yelp for
Yeah,
Courtney.
pretty much, except Amazon review. I was told recently by the youths that they don't use Yelp anymore.
The Utes?
The Utes.
Yeah, that's not a thing
The
anymore.
Utes. 2 Utes.
So anyway, here we go. Quad roast. 1 out of 5 stars. For the record, that's more stars than I gave Spirited Away when we did the weekly watch party, just to be clear. You're welcome.
No taste.
When I downloaded this podcast, I thought it was Bert Kreischer. This is not Bert Kreischer, for the record. I was expecting manly ruggedness and comedic genius of Bert, but instead I got Quad. Definitely not the right dude from Cali. First of all, there's a strong bent toward the musical. If you don't like terrible song parodies, this is not the podcaster for you.
Terrible. Now I'm hurt.
She went for the
Kick her out of the room.
Went for the throw.
His abilities to recap the intricacies of watch parties, verbally smack down his co-hosts, and avoid the inherent humiliation associated with losing the weekly watch party consistently are disturbing, especially when sung confidently and slightly offbeat.
Oh man, that's just I'm not black.
I would like to see a Gregory Brothers collaboration in auto-tuning to add flair.
So I think of the people who did Rebecca Friday. It's Friday, right?
No, I don't. Did they? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
I
not.
was looking
They're
for-
the ones they do auto-tune the news.
Oh,
That
okay,
one.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna feel bad about this.
No, go
Also,
for the throw.
if mobility is needed, Quad is not the podcaster for you. In initial listens, it was implied that Quad was in a wheelchair. Can neither confirm or deny. I really feel bad about that one because I had to ask.
There's
if
a
you were
lot
in
of people that I'll
wheelchair.
ask, is he really in a wheelchair?
Yeah, so sorry about that. I'm a bad person.
He was going to be.
Oh, sorry. I was in a wheelchair, but I'm not anymore.
Okay. Additionally, Quad will likely ditch out or fail at staying connected at some point, so if you're relying on video, it's best to just ask Jay. Connected reviews.
More? What? No. Hey, thanks for saying.
You reap what you sow,
Get out
Quad.
of here.
You reap what you sow.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
3 out of 5 stars for hating Best in Show because I love that movie.
Fucking great movie.
Walnuts, peanuts,
Macadamians.
Pine nut, cashew nut.
Jay, 4 out of 5 stars for covering for Quad. -1 for being a bitch about it. So it's actually 3.
I love it.
In all seriousness, you guys are the best and I love listening. Y'all deserve to be throttled at different times for being turds, but you're actually the best. So keep it up and
I'll take that.
keep being awesome.
Yay, thanks, Kyle. Best cook in Southwest Michigan.
Don't feel bad. I loved it, Kyle.
Hear that, Grant?
All right. Do you have any in the? Do you have any in the chats that are worth reading?
Let me get here.
Like, did anyone
what's the
anyone
deal
really
with
swing
Grant's
for the
shirt?
fences?
Did someone tell him to look like he's colorblind? Rebecca, it's Friday Black is a lesbian. Okay, thank you.
What does that
Hey,
have to do with anything?
I don't know. I'm just reading the chat to see. No, there's no burns on it. Okay, so Brian's up.
Hey, right here.
I know. I said hi.
Oh, he did. Right.
JJ, welcome to the chat.
Oh, Brian's got something
There's
to read.
more?
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
Wow.
I think Jeannie, do you have one too?
Yeah.
Oh, we're roasting the fuck out of you. This makes
man.
me happy.
You know,
we left room for the audience to not only come over and visit, but roast your punk ass.
I'd like to point out that of those assigned, myself and Stuntfish and the audience members were the only ones that did their job. Just so you know.
Right.
If we're handing out awards.
I mean, I feel like I went above and beyond, but okay.
You did. You did. And it's my fault that you didn't write it anyway.
I mean, I've got...
Hit it, Brian.
It's been.
Hit him up. Hit him up.
All right.
Smash him.
And now, next on the roast dais, I can't see him. Brian.
Hello. First off, I'd like to say I see quad fighters like Daffy Duck. He forgot to turn left in Albuquerque on his way here and never stopped to ask for directions on the way to Oktoberfest.
Yep.
Those that follow me on social media know I am pretty much obsessed with Hallmark.
Yes.
Yet even I choose better weekly Watch Party movies than Courtney here.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Go Brain, David Mayer says. It's supposed to be Brian.
No, just read all the sentences like in a row.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I'm just going back.
Hey,
it moved on me.
He's not a podcaster.
Come on.
Why are you such
Oh,
a dick?
why did you look at me like
Like,
don't
he's
be
like,
an asshole in the middle of
I
the
want
roast?
no part of the
You
roast,
always
but then he's a
so
natural
fucking-
asshole.
I said I didn't want to roast
Yeah.
Courtney.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I first met Courtney via the live stream chat with Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks via
Great
live
show.
streams. So he already knew how messed up I was, so he bothered not to show up here because his paltry therapist skills would not be any help to me. And trust me, I need therapy.
We'll help you out in a couple hours.
Well, help me out, yeah.
Yeah. Shrinks and dinks.
I brought this up earlier, but yeah, Codfather goes on vacation and Queeby starts shutting down, so I guess the sole subscriber for them killed them.
Way to shut down a service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay here is like the Adam Sandler of podcasters. He will podcast on just about anything. Some are hits, some are misses, but you're in for a good time.
Thank you.
Has cute co-stars that show up all the time, like
Thank
Drew
you.
Barrymore or neighbor Cole.
Hey!
But like Adam, you know Rob Schneider or Quadfather are going to show up at one point in the movie.
Wow.
Nice point.
Okay. Speaking of Rob,
Quad can do it.
when is Courtney going to bring Rob's inappropriate comedy to the weekly watch party, or is Rob as a therapist hitting a little too close to home for Quad's skill set?
Might be.
All kidding aside, I love you, Quadfather. I wish you had shown up even for the
love you too,
ass-kicking Jay was going to give you last night. You being into MMA and sports betting, we could have made more money for Monkey Poo Studios in 5 minutes than all of Oktoberfest is going to do for 2 days.
I'm good off my back.
What was the thing that we offered yesterday? Oh, never mind. I just remember what that was.
What was it?
Good job, Brian.
Moving on.
All right. Quad has been roasted. Jeannie's up.
Jeannie's got a gun.
Grant, do you want to say anything?
That is horrible.
Wesley, if you'd love to be here to... Oh, you want to be roasted. You don't want to participate in the roast.
I'd
All
love
right,
to be there
that's
to be
fine.
roasted.
That's fine.
You want to be roasted?
Oh, we should do an episode where we roast our listeners.
Didn't you already roast? Didn't you already get roasted?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
no, he was reading and Wesley said he wants to be roasted.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. It'll make sense when you sober up. Moving on.
That's never gonna happen. Let's be honest.
Hey, you do
Mr.
you, girl. Don't
Rose.
let Grant bring you down.
He's
Don't
not gonna
harsh
let-
your buzz.
It's totally not gonna harsh my buzz.
He can't get drunk because he can't filter the alcohol through the mustache.
It's a true story.
I was like, but it's a nice mustache.
Thank you.
It is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've got
Yeah.
a mustache.
Do you want to
too.
touch it?
No, I do not
I
ever
wanna-
want to touch your
I
mustache.
want to ride it.
You want to ride his
Yeah.
mustache?
Yeah.
Ara's like, well, you got to take your pants off first. No, you got to take your pants off if you're going to ride his
Put your
mustache.
feet up.
This is just foreplay.
All right,
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going off the top of your head?
moving on. Wow, here's a good one from
Of course.
Unprofessional Development, Courtney. Newhart and Frazier are more believable as therapists. Pretty sure he got his license. Pretty sure you got your license out of the back of a magazine.
I was like, we got two therapists now because I'm
Yes.
also a therapist. So this is great.
drunk.
This is straight to shrink.
Yeah,
right
let's talk about
Therapist
movie.
roasts a therapist.
So first of all, I love your movie picks.
Oh
so
my
I'm on
God.
100%. Yes.
Stop right there. Call it a night.
Get out.
Night.
I
Peek out.
love Spirited Away. I told you. Like
I know.
I'm like this
And
is
we
a
didn't
great
agree
movie.
with it either.
And I want to watch it again with you guys so I can explain to you why it's amazing.
Hold on.
Oh, we
hold
don't
on.
need that.
Hold on. Real quick, I got a late submission from Stuntfish. He's off mic right now, but
Hello,
he got lost when
Stuntfish.
he was scrolling.
Uh-huh.
Courtney doesn't always seem to be show ready, although he tries to fake his way through it. I think after being married for years, Courtney would have learned to fake it better, especially with examples from the quad mother.
I think the quad mother got to learn how to fake it better.
I don't think she fakes anything. She just like
Wait, Cannellina.
puts her foot down.
Yeah, coffee and
coffee.
Cannellinas. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love your movies, Courtney. You're one of my favorite. You're the reasons that I started watching or listening to the podcast again. You bring a lot to the podcast. I like.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
I love how
No, he doesn't.
He
doesn't. He literally brings nothing.
He brings a lot of conflict, which is always
Yep.
fun to watch, and it's always fun to listen to. So 100%.
Thank you.
He
I
yes,
get
he
to beat me up
100% rages Cole.
Hey, we're an hour in. The show is flawless. Let me hit buttons over here.
I referenced
What
that.
the fuck are you doing?
Well, and that makes it fun though, for as a listener.
I'm glad you're entertained.
Of course, it's not going to be fun for you because you're trying to bring like a flawless podcast, and he doesn't. He doesn't bring flawless, but he brings entertainment, and that is
I'm
worth
gonna
it.
start calling him sabotage.
Okay, but you have to sing it. You have to do it in like the.
All right, you play the Beastie Boys,
Yes,
whatever he comes on. All right.
100%. You no more. I am on a wheelchair, like lovely little thing that Cole plays. You just
This
start
is my
playing
wheelchair.
You just start playing sabotage. I would be okay with that because he does. He does kind of come in here and throw things at you. Like, oh, I'm totally paying attention. And by paying attention, I mean I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right.
But I enjoy the fact that Courtney is 100% himself.
Oh,
and
yeah, of course.
yeah, he's just like, I'm here. I'm not really listening to you. I'm just here because I enjoy you guys. And that's fun to listen to. So, yes. Golf claps, Courtney.
We found the one listener that likes me. Yay!
It's Jeannie.
Like, it's a super shocking.
And to be
that
fair,
it's me.
she's drunk.
Well, I never said I wasn't
Yeah, but
drunk.
she wasn't drunk when she wrote that.
No.
Sober, it might be different, Courtney.
She's sober as a bird.
As
That's
a bird?
why they need to drink first.
Super Troopers line from Super Troopers.
I'm a peahen.
You look more like a crick bottom warbler.
They don't like it. They don't like it when they get complimented. And then
What is that?
Most specific bird I could come up with at the top of my name.
Wow.
Wow, I just really don't know how
I
to take
pictured
that.
like
I feel
a
like that's
crayfish.
going to be the name of the hour, not the roast of Courtney.
Didn't know I
What
was
the
a
hell?
fucking zoologist, did you?
Right.
Good job. High five.
Yeah, on the fucking top.
Go get your vest and your binoculars.
Like bubbles.
He doesn't need it. He has them at home. He's like, look, I have my lovely little script of here, and I mark
When you
out
role
the
play,
birds
do
that
you
I
like
see.
role play as a birder every once in a while?
I like to be an etymologist most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, hold on. This is about Courtney.
Clyde,
Yes.
do you have anything to clap back at the studio audience as well as your fellow roasters?
No, the only thing I have because as much as I heard about this, I think it was midweek that it was happening. I think I was packing, and Jason said, "Oh, by the way, I didn't know who was going to be here and be part of it." So I'm actually, when we did the roast before, I was kind of envious of Jason because even though you're getting all this negative attention, it's attention and it's kind of nice. People notice, even if it's not good notice. Is bad notice, I'll take it. So no, I don't have anything funny or but I
just
like it.
enjoy the
I like
fact that
beat me
people pay
again.
attention to me is what I just got from
That's what it
Courtney.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even,
Yeah.
I mean, that's when
Yeah.
he fails at all the fucking movies. He's still like
Well, first of all, I don't think he's actually failed at any of the movies besides Lighthouse.
he's failed at life.
I said movies. I said movies.
Oh.
Movies.
Hey, Quadfather, pay your bill, bitch.
Yeah, you do need to pay for the fact
Oh,
that
I
you
got
lost.
a problem with that. If you guys want to talk about that,
Oh, you do.
It is required. You agreed to the terms. You have to pay
Tell him,
the
James.
bill.
True.
You know what? I was sucker punched into it on mic. and I don't think I should have to pay to be on a show.
Okay, as
That's
a
where I
third
have
You
the-
don't have
party,
to pay to be on the show. You have to pay to be a loser.
yeah,
on the
as
show.
a third party not involved, you still have to pay for the things that you agreed to. You agreed to pay if you lost. Now, I don't agree that you lost with Spirited Away. However, everybody else did.
Oh, but a loss
yes,
is a loss.
a loss is a loss, so you have to pay.
All right, I'll send you a gift card.
Are you going to send me a gift card?
No,
No,
I
we
didn't
won't.
lose to you.
I'm more than willing.
I just met you, and all you've done is insult.
First
me.
of all,
I think you owe me a check.
all I did was tell you that you had a good choice in movies.
The only
I
time
feel
he
like I
sent
haven't
us
insulted
money,
you.
he ripped the checks up and sent it in.
I know, yeah.
We didn't even touch on his cheapness. Jesus.
He's miserly.
Yeah, really. That's a whole glaring
I missed that.
thing there.
He's too focused on the
I feel
wheelchair
like
and
we-
the wife beating. And
Yeah, the wife beating.
Can I
don't
go?
think
Can I
he's-
go?
Yes, that's
It's
what
my
we're
turn?
I
asking
just
for you
gave
to
you
go.
the opportunity to clap back, and you said nothing.
All right. So to that end, I only knew that the two people for sure were going to be here, and I knew that was Cole and Jason. So
Your co-host?
this morning when I woke up 2.5 hours before the show to get my stuff together.
Courtney, where are you right now?
I'm in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm at the hotel, which actually plugs in.
Okay.
The chat
So,
is going
Jason-
crazy about your outfit change, Grant.
What?
Everyone's going crazy.
Yeah, you have the strangers conversation.
Wardrobe
Yes,
change.
show it.
How
Show it.
professional.
Oh, you can see it
wardrobe
direct.
change.
Put it on the stranger.
Why the
con
shirt
right there.
change?
Gigi says Lady Gaga wardrobe change.
Looking good. All right.
Tune in. It's
you
going to be
can tell
something different
now-
every hour, or close to there too.
Gigi,
You know,
I will not change my outfit.
Grant, you shouldn't have. It'll be inside out tomorrow morning. Yeah. Cole, no. What's your Grant? You.
Who are you again?
You gave yourself away. Now we know you're feeling a little attacked and a little defensive, and you need your little throat holder there so you can feel all snuggly. So I hope the next hour goes well for you. Jason. We all appreciate that you being the gateway podcaster. You bring us all together for a little utopia in these difficult times when we need to be socially distant just to stay alive. But here you are, bringing us all together to create the 2020 podcasting event, Super Spreader event.
Super Spreader
Sorry,
event?
I couldn't be in
All
there
right.
in person. Not sorry.
We're all tested at the door.
We know that you're one of the guys marching on the Michigan governor's front lawn with your microphone, megaphone, and your AK-47. I appreciate you being able to exercise your right as a citizen, but I question your motivation. I mean, you shouldn't want your kids to go back to school that bad. Heck, they're already gone 50% of the time.
Wow.
Last year, we got all over you and accused you of not posting on a regular schedule. Well, we can't do that
you
this
can't.
time.
No, you've been very
You
consistent.
have been super regular, except for when it comes to moving
That's
your
true.
bowels. Only once a week.
But that's regular for
Yeesh.
me.
That is crazy, Lee. That's a small
Full
amount
of
of time.
shit. Jason, with one divorce in your rearview mirror, and we all respect that, sometimes things just don't work out, no matter how hard you try to get her to have a threesome. And it turns out she wanted a threesome, but didn't want you to be part of the three.
Wait, is this
Jason-
a true statement?
Jason-
Like your ex-wife wanted a threesome and you were okay?
He's
Courtney.
He's
Okay.
mixing X's.
Okay.
But it works.
All right.
Try to keep
I
up,
just
Jamie.
had to verify.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Jason is a lover, not a fighter. But this year has been an especially hard year.
Did one of my kids? I knew one of my kids was going to hear that.
I'm sorry.
What'd they say?
What'd they say? Say it on
I
my
heard the
They said
three
you.
something, and she thought, gee,
Dad,
that was my
talking about
ex-wife. She goes,
threesomes
ew.
again.
My daughter.
That's my padre. It's me padre.
Call your mother.
I apologize. Ew is
Jason is a
right.
lover, not a...
All right, let's let Quad get through this.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's
Courtney.
my last Jason
Yeah.
joke, and then I go to Cole. Jason is a lover, not a fighter. But this year has been an especially hard year. Yeah, I'm not going to pick on you for that. Dating is hard these days.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask you something, and now's as good a time as any. Can I borrow some money to buy a car?
Finally.
Why?
I was waiting for that to come up.
I
Got
don't. What?
Yeah, that you've got to be a subscriber.
Inside joke. Patreon.
Yeah, I don't.
Patreon.
I don't subscribe to Patreon because I'm poor.
Way to be lost.
I'm poor.
I'm poor. I just came up here
Yeah.
to hang out and drink beer all weekend.
That's where my money goes to. I have priorities.
Cole, you are an inspiration,
Hi, Quad. Hi.
a changed man,
Thanks, buddy.
and inspiration to all of us. Right before our eyes, you have changed yourself from a self-loathing, tubby, unmotivated, obnoxious, opinionated blowhard And now you're I just traveled from a very liberal state to a conservative state of Tennessee, and I do appreciate the fact that in these times of upheaval, you're a man who's not afraid to speak his mind and stand up for his views. I didn't finish that one. That's just good. Every month, I try to win our weekly watch party movie. I think to myself, what will Cole be able to understand and appreciate? And then I pick a cultured movie with subtlety. Cole, open-minded, lover of all mankind. It is ironic that a guy who loves the whites as much as you do would have a heart as black as Cole.
It's very true. I do love white people. Thank you.
I do, and I'm very, very sad that you were not here for the beginning of the game show, because what we learned was that the listeners picked 5 of Jay's movies as winners and 4 of my movies as winners, and none of yours as winners.
That makes my heart hurt.
I picked one of yours as a winner.
So
Thanks, Jeannie.
you are kind of biased, but I do believe that Jason and I are people who actually know about movies. You just like one-man movies who try to take on the world for the right reasons, which I can applaud.
Golf claps.
Cole didn't want to be a co-host at first, but when Jason told him there was childcare and hot chicks, Cole was all in.
That's what drew me in. Perk package.
When we came
Where
up
are their hot chicks?
Jason-
I'm just wondering.
They've been here.
Oh, okay.
I look in the mirror. When we came up with the idea to roast the quad, Cole practically ran around the block, but very slowly. But that's just because he thought we were talking about eating dinner. These are all old jokes. And now it's time.
I was like, I feel like
it's
our
time
hours.
for the man who speaks his mind, but never with his mouth full. Thank you to the lovely neighbor Cole. There you go. That's all I got.
All right.
Well done.
All right, that's a
Well done. I
Officially our
literally
roast.
heard none of that, and I feel better for it. Can we scroll through the chat room?
It did-
if you
wait,
could
why don't
move
you
it
just
back
tell
up
us
just
that
a
you don't
little bit?
listen to the
There's some
fucking
things
show?
here.
Courtney, you don't
that,
need to doesn't listen.
that
That's
were-
not a shocker.
No, I think we need to go up just a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, but he likes to say it every
Yeah,
hour.
at
All right,
least once an hour.
You know, we've got some old friends joining the chat.
do.
Some of these people have been podcast listeners of Jay and or I's since we started.
One of them was
and
a
they're-
co-host.
They're actually.
I went to her wedding.
What's really great here is
Yeah.
they're all seeing each other and saying hi, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I remember you," or "How are you doing?" Let's
One's
see.
your
So
cousin?
the last one we had for Courtney was the new heart
Oh,
jab,
okay.
and what is it?
That was good.
2 on 3 says always seems weird that therapist is just 2 words jammed together.
the rapist.
The rapist. I never put that as a job title. I
There's
will
a
be
there's a little
honest.
roast on
you don't get paid
Not
much.
enough.
Norm from Cheers over here. It will go down one. No, this way. Right here.
I can't see
Does
these.
she understand what a roast is? I'm going to say no is the answer to that one.
No, I just like Courtney that much.
Cole says
She was
that she's
toasting.
I was
working her
like,
way up.
hey,
That's
Courtney.
fair.
Let's see here. Dan Evans has got anything? No. Look at Dan and Lady G are just kind of catching up.
Yeah, they are.
Hey, Gigi.
Someone
Joel?
claims that Jeannie wants to be the next quad mother.
No, I don't
says,
want to marry Courtney.
Joel says that
he
the,
lives in California.
People hijacking
Yeah,
the
I'm
chat
moving.
room is better than the drunk girl not roasting during the roast. Well done, Joel.
that's true.
Points for you. Bing.
That's a good roast.
that's
She
fine.
wants to be the next quad mother, apparently,
Not at all.
according to unprofessional development. See, now, Lady Gigi, if she was doing the
She could
roast,
roast
I
some
feel like it would
motherfuckers.
end up with a baby in a blender, and then I would have to leave.
I feel that's true.
Do you want me to put a baby in
I
a
mean,
blender?
it's happened once before.
That was an
We already
inside
cut
joke.
one out of a lemon
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Quad, he gets attention but can't pay attention.
That is a true statement. As he
man.
constantly says.
Quad.
Did we talk about this before?
Yes.
Yes, last episode.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
White.
People are wondering about my wardrobe change. I brought a lot just to represent different hours or just to spice it up because
I like it because we know when people go back to watch these later on, they'll be like, I thought this all took place in one day.
Like, how
It did.
come his clothes are changing,
Right,
but
yeah.
theirs aren't? That's
those filthy
weird.
animals.
You guys are gross and
But
disgusting
the
and need to
hands
take
on
a
the
shower.
clock never move.
Let's see here. Unprofessional development says to Courtney, and I think this is when you guys were talking about how cheap he was. He buys his tires for his wheelchair on Craigslist. I do want to give a personal shout out to Lady E.
Shout out,
like shout out to you, sir. I have actually messaged you.
Messaged?
Messaged? messengered you.
That's
All right.
empty too.
Let's see here. Ooh, wow. I'm not sure what's happening
Gigi's
there.
telling you to take it all off.
Yeah, and so that's it. So white that trying to get all of them out.
Hey, if
so
you
So
took
why
it
they
all
says
off,
the
we'd be more
H
like Bert
first.
Kreischer.
Yeah, he definitely does go without a shirt.
that's fair. So
Yeah.
I guess that wraps it up, and we have some housekeeping to do. Or
We
do. You
do.
got
Let's
more
give it a
stuff to,
special shout out to Liner Notes,
plug in
our
there?
Liner Notes, who is the sponsor of this hour. Thanks, guys, for supporting Podtoberfest, and we'll see you both at the end of the night for our Power Hour.
Power Hour.
Or are we doing a wrap up Power Hour like usual?
Uh-huh.
Are you
Is
gonna
that
take a
themed,
shot
or is that
every
just going to be a
minute?
large group?
We got
Both.
our Liner Notes put together a 60-minute mixtape for us. The
Yep.
songs change every minute. We listen to the songs every minute. You take a drink of your beer, and
That's what a power
the
hour is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't do
What
that.
time is that
Why
happening? so
don't
I
you
know
do that,
when to
Courtney?
leave?
You can drink water.
That's too much drinking. I'll drink a sip. They're drinking like a
You
beer.
can do a
It
sip.
ends up being
You guys are drinking
3
Yeah.
beers in an hour.
Yeah, you can do a sip. You don't
Thank
have
you,
to do
Tom.
a shot.
Didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Why don't you pull the string out
I'd
of
have
your
to get some-
tampon?
Pull the string out of your tampon.
Really?
Now I have
Vagina.
to prove to Lady E.
Vaginas
So-
are fucking
all women
amazing,
like
Cole.
that?
I agree.
So why are you calling
Yeah.
it a bad thing?
All right, this has been the roast of the Quad Father. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. For all of you guys who submitted a little something, we appreciate you, Quad Father. Do you appreciate them? Say thank you, Quad Father.
I love. You know what? Thank you so much. Because you know they always say that kids always like they act out because they don't get enough attention. There's any attention's.
Just so
you
you
know
guys
what?
in the audience know,
Having
everything
bad
he's
breath
saying,
is better than no breath at
hilarious.
all. So thank you for all for the attention.
Why do you have a fist in your mouth?
It's a microphone.
Oh, that's my mic.
All right, we're cutting this off. Hugs and
right,
kisses
I
on
will
all your
leave.
pink parts.
Okay, cuffs.
All right, we got Movies Turning 30 coming up next.
Yeah, we sure
All right.
do. And we're
I
gonna
will
bring
leave.
Ty
And a
in.
new outfit for Grant.
Who's Ty?
Who's Anthony? My
My
dream.
ex-husband?
My dream.